Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents Comic Book Talk with Friends. How's everybody out there? How y'all doing? I'm going good, and I'm so glad to see that we got a lot of people out, or a few people out here, a few familiar faces, and I'm glad you're on board tonight. It's only going to get better. Yes, we have a really decent discussion ahead of us. Again, tonight is all about the MCU. Next week is going to be DC, but tonight is all about the MCU. What we've come out of, what we expected or what we got from 2021, and what we can expect from 2022 when it comes to the MCU, when it comes to any of the Disney Plus properties, the films, comic books. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and on top of that, we got some shit coming, like straight up, to the point where this year is going to be incredible. But I can't do this alone. I got to bring in the incredible panel of individuals, geeks, cool cats, if you want to call them that. Let's bring them all in. Hey guys, what's going on with you guys? What's going on with y'all today?
What's going on?
It's good, man.
How's everybody doing out there in the internet world?
Oh man,
Another
everything's
great day.
good. We got
Happy New Year.
a quick $5 super chat from my man Malachi Mabane. Peace and love.
Malachi.
Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's to you too, man. Definitely, man. So
Yeah.
you was on it.
Yeah. Happy New
definitely,
Year,
man.
everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year's. Hey, Vinny, what you do for the New Year's, bro?
Man, I just chilled my girl a little bit, and then I was binging Cobra Kai, man. Cobra Kai brought in the new year.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I know we talk about comics a lot, man, but that was for cats who grew up around our age group. I mean, young kids are loving the show too for different reasons, but I don't think they feel that nostalgia drop kick to the chest that we feel when we're watching it because they don't like pour it on too thick. They pour it in. They season it right when it called for within the confines of the story. And I'm telling you, like this season, they like touched on Karate Kid 3, which was growing up the one that everybody kind of clowned or was slept on, and they pulled the parts out of that was most important and made you want to go like pop it in and watch it again. Like that's what that is just truly special because they embrace the cheesiness and the campiness of it, but at the same time, there's really good acting, there's really good fight choreography, there's really good action sequences, and there's really good pacing. Like you never feel bored, you never feel, and most importantly, you never feel annoyed at these kids because a lot of kid shows it's like teenage drama, angst, and the Smallville type of stuff, like shows where you expect to be annoyed by teenage love drama and all that stuff. You just never do. It's incredibly addictive, especially for like martial arts heads like myself. They actually have some really good fight choreography, and again, the nostalgia overload is just and season 4, and they're still like with it doesn't seem like they're running out of ideas on shit to pull from the old show at any time. So so it was that's how I spent my new year. I was
and you know what's really what I love about it, and what I love about Cobra Kai in general, bro, is the simple fact that it's not even just pure nostalgia. It's the simple fact that it's showing you how these cats and people that were around during our era, actors that we enjoyed and the content, that they still got it, bro. They still got it. And like it's like we're constantly looking towards these new cats. It's like they still got it.
I also love the generational gap. Like Johnny, talking about females in a way that you're not allowed to anymore. And, you know what I mean? Like him having like old school ideals, but yet you get to the shows told, a lot of the shows told through his eyes, so he's not villainized by that. Like you have the younger millennials telling him, wait, you can't say that anymore, but like you also see that he's not saying it out of,
it's not coming out of a bad place. He's not there's no malice.
He's
just
slow to catch up
evolution.
to the way the world has changed, which is really, really like clever and smart because
he's just an 80s cat.
It's an 80s show for 80s heads and for the new generation, and that's really hard to like walk that.
Dude, in some ways, they even humanized Kreese.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
that whole
okay.
backstory to him was pretty dope, man.
And Jedi Kid, you'll see this season
I don't
too.
think that I don't think there's a single character on the show that's black and white. Every single character on the show managed to show that no one's just clearly a villain or clearly great. Like every person on the show, like from Daniel to Kreese, all of them have had like think about it. Think about how many think about the context of when we were growing up. It was good and bad. Simple as that. But yet,
Black and white.
Watching it now,
Yeah.
it's like, damn. There's moments where Daniel's an asshole. You know what I mean? So it's
A huge
good.
asshole, bro.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's really
Yeah.
good.
Especially this season, there are times where you're like, dude, all right, like get off your high horse, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And
But that's great though. I love that about it. It just takes
Absolutely.
clever writing, and then they're constantly adding new characters and old characters, and it never feels like they're
Too nostalgic.
Yeah, it never feels like they're losing control of
because they add
to.
dimensions to them when they bring them back that you didn't have in the original movies, like from Karate Kid Part 2 and stuff. So it's not just like we're just bringing them here just for that pop. It's like we're gonna do something with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Especially with Thomas Ian Griffith,
He was
you know, as
incredible.
Terry Silver, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I've loved back, you know, with Karate Kid Part 3, but back when he was like the vampire, he was like Dracula and John Carpenter's vampires, right? And stuff dude is actually a really good character actor, and to see him come in here and add like layers to the Terry Silver character that we only got for the one movie, and we saw that one vicious side. And then you see the rest of this and you're like, oh, it works because it feels like him from back then, but it feels like there was shit going behind the scenes that we didn't know about. And now he's been dealing with it for 35 years. And
It's like they
it's
take
fun, dude.
They take these characters. They take the characters, and we the levels that we didn't see, the things that we didn't actually see in them, the depth that we didn't see in them as characters back then. We get a chance to see it now, and then it has you questioning, like, damn, were they really wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but see,
we ain't really wrong. It's our perception of it. Like, this our perceptions of Johnny, of what we saw. You know what I mean? Like, our perception was just completely skewed. It's like, yo, this man's human going through a whole bunch of bullshit.
It makes you think about life in general. If you're dead set in your ways about everything, it's like, man, now I'm gonna start. Karate Kid is making me rethink some other shit in my life.
It makes you stop and realize it's that old adage, right? You never know what somebody else is going through.
But see, even when Terry came to really apologize to Daniel, I'm like, damn, is he being sincere? Like, he was being sincere to him. I think he was like, I was coked up. I shouldn't have tried to torture you like that. You were only a kid. I don't know what I was thinking. I just want to sincerely apologize.
We won't go into like spoiler territory for anybody in the chat who hasn't seen it.
Oh, my bad. But
no. That's not like a.
That's not even nothing.
Anybody who hasn't seen it, especially if you're a fan of the OG,
go watch it.
3 movies. Check that out. Even if you're not, it's really good. It's like
so many
they
levels.
poke fun at their own like campiness, but still kind of keep it grounded in that. The only thing that I was like, oh come on, that's bull. It was like in the other season when they had the brawl at the school. I mean, like, man, I had
dude should have been dead.
I had half a dozen teachers in my school that would have just come in and started cracking heads with those kids. Like, that shit would not have gone down.
But the choreography in that scene was...
It was. But I had like one gym teacher that would have come in and literally just pick kids up and just smash their heads together and be like, sit down.
And knock them out.
Sit the fuck
like,
down.
where were the teachers in that scene? Come on.
They were all scared. Like,
not to mention, you know, there are some teachers out there...
If all the cops can disappear from Central Park... And Hawkeye.
They were all scary, bro. They weren't like trying to do
anything,
anything, man.
But you know, there is some, and my wife is a teacher, and my old man was a teacher for almost 40 years. You know, there are teachers in schools that if something like that went off, they'd be like, "Oh yeah,
it's
get
over.
My shots in, and I'm taking some of these kids out."
I've been wanting to kick his ass. Now's the time.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But,
anyway, butt naked, man. How was your New Year's besides being butt ass naked, like just being
man, it was
naked.
good. It was family night, man. We I just hung out with my wife and kids, and then obviously, you know, they're too young, so we didn't keep them up till midnight. But we just had them. You know, my wife played like Netflix and YouTube. They have all these just like kind of fake countdowns. That, you know, my wife made like some confetti and stuff, and I was like, you realize you throw that all up, we're gonna have to clean it all, right? Like, so I thought the confetti was a bad idea, but you know. And yeah, we just did like our own kind of like little countdown to New Year's with my kids. Then they went to bed, and we just had a chill night. Yeah, I just binged stuff like Cobra Kai and stuff, and just relaxed. And yeah, man, it's just honestly it's just been kind of all this last week. I've just been thinking about comic books, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. Just all the stuff that we're gonna get into tonight, especially like specifically tonight is about Marvel and all the stuff. So I've been reading books. You know, it's just been really fun eating reindeer poop. That's what it's called. You know, snacks, reindeer poop. I'm just saying, it's delicious.
Okay.
But you know.
Okay.
Living my best life, man. Living my best life.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Jedi Kid, bro, I'm so glad to have you back, man. Like, you know, you've been missed.
Dudes, man.
We know you've been through a lot, but at the same time, it's good to see you soldiering through. We had people out in the chat, you know, that were, you know, sending their condolences, but at the same time,
appreciate all of that love, man.
You know, everybody sent it out there to let you know that, you know, you're always here. You know, we always keep you here, man. So definitely glad to see it, man. So
yes, sir.
you know,
appreciate you guys. Bro.
It is what it is, man. Like, you know, you always know you got your brothers here, and every time
no doubt,
something goes down, we hold you down. So it is. You know, it's good to have you back, man, and hope everything worked out. So yeah, man, like it's good. It's all love. Let's address everybody out in the chat real quick to make sure that we do that. You know, this is what we do every week. We got Mike Field in the building. My baby Latoya T, thank you for being here. Malachi Mabane. We got Tobar, Max Geekdom. We got Yuli's second kid is in the building. Linda, Bob Dylan is in the building. Thank you for that. And we got El Profesoro. Thank you for being here, brother. Can't wait to see you Thursday. Who else we got here? We said Malachi, my guy. JP Noble's in the building. The Ben Cave is here. Genta is here. Don't worry, Vinny. I'm gonna put that romper room thing up later. We have Jen Michael Jameer is in the building, man. We got K Carter 27 is here. Ninja Squirrel 30. Thank you for being here.
That's a dope name.
Said Max Geetham. Luminar is here. She says the butt naked kid.
You might as well get the tattoo, bro. Let's get the tattoo.
You gotta get the tattoo. It says
Champ
butt
is
naked.
here.
Champ. Yeah.
Butt naked. Side Dream is in the building. Thank you for being here as always. SpongeBob Square Bows, my man Bows is in the building. Thank you for being here, man. SB
balls.
Yeah.
Aiden Loftus
Square ball
is here.
dropping on New Year.
Yeah, just dropping. Ray C. Let's see here. Man, my daughter is in it. We got Tukathree in the building. We got Primetime Reviews, and we got my daughter Skyla is here. She said ready. So, baby, thank you for being here. Yes,
Daredevil
man. Like,
for life.
yes. I mean, okay. So, guys, we just got through a very trivial year. Okay, some ups, some downs, and I'm talking about basically within the Marvel universe itself. You know, we had some films that were received, some shows that were well received, some shows that were questioned, some movies that were questioned. But I think that after seeing, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home, and, you know, experiencing, and the thing is, like, all in all, we rounded out when we talk about the actual shows themselves, the Disney Plus shows. I don't think, you know, as much people as people would want to actually call them or say that, you know, there were some things that kind of let them down. I don't think it was a miss. I think that everything brought an element, and it kept us on our toes. It kept us watching. It kept us engaged. It brought about questions. It also inspired those who might not have actually been familiar with the universe to go back and just search and, you know, gather up some source material to get to know these characters, to get to know the world itself, to understand, like, just the depth of these individual characters. So I think they did quite well with that. And then, like I said, I mean, you know, as far as the films were concerned, I mean, we got, you know, what was it first? We got Black Widow. At the Black Widow, we got Shang-Chi. After Shang-Chi, we got the Eternals. And then after the Eternals, we rounded it out with Spider-Man No Way Home.
The best out of the four. The best.
Yeah. So either way, again, I quite liked the Eternals for what it was. Even knowing the lore, even know basically what, you know, it's the true, you know, meaning of those characters, where they come from, the science behind it, the full spectrum of and just seeing them introduced and where the possibilities are. Even though there were some things that might have been flawed, there was some good that came from it. You know, Black Widow, the same. I quite enjoyed Florence Pugh's performance. She was a knockout, scene stiller. You know, we might have got a different iteration of, you know, Taskmaster, but for what it was, some of the scenes were, you know, still not going to stop me from getting that hot toy because that joint's going to be crazy. And I can always just use it.
So good.
Exactly.
Hey,
so you can always just look at it from a different perspective. You don't always have to look at it from the movie.
To you, in your display case, that's the original Taskmaster. That's
exactly. That's the point. It's to you and what you make of it. You know what I mean? You don't always have to go off of what we saw. So it is what it is. But
what we saw was horrible. But but it is what it was. You know what I mean? We got. What'd you say? That's it.
Like
That's it.
Imagination.
That's it.
Imagination. That's what.
So
it's
the
all
mask
about.
came off. You're like blah blah
Yes.
blah.
So you know, when it comes to the television shows or the Disney Plus streaming shows, we had WandaVision. We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We got Loki. We got What If. We got Hawkeye. What else am I missing?
We got She-Hulk coming.
We got now we're moving in like with all of those particular shows and everything that we
Echo,
actually
too.
seen. Exactly. Everything that we've seen from those particular shows, okay? And everything that we've gotten from Marvel thus far. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna start with you, Brendan. Do you think that it was a good setup? If we look at it for what it is, do you think it was basically a good setup to what we can expect going forward?
Disney Plus, like the first, absolutely.
I mean, just not even just with Disney Plus, and when we look at Disney Plus and the films, do you think it was a good setup?
I think 2021 was sneaky. I think it set up stuff that people just don't really see yet. That's going to come to fruition in 2022 and beyond. Like, I mean, you and I were talking about since day one about these what if characters and how we're going to see them play out in live action, and we know that that's happening now, right? So there were those things, you know, seeing, you know, whatever your reaction to Black Widow the film was. I mean, Yelena stole the hearts and minds of geekdom, of you know, she's like America's sweetheart. She's not even American. Like, everybody loves her, right? So that where we're going with Doctor Strange, where we're going with Shang-Chi, which is super exciting, and the fact that he's not just going to get a one and done, that he's going to be in the mix, that he's going to be important, that we're going to see that. You know, Hawkeye setting up Echo and setting up, you know, Kingpin and you know, No Way Home. If you don't know by now, I mean, spoiler in 3, 2, 1, bringing in Daredevil, right? Like, so all of those things, and showing just the early stages of how the Disney Plus and the cinematic elements are going to intertwine. Seeing how, you know, we got a taste of what Sharon Carter is up to in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm sure that that's going to play into, if not other shows on Disney Plus, definitely into the next Cap movie headed by Sam Wilson. So yeah, I think it, and then there's the Eternals and what that is going to lay the groundwork for. Even if people didn't really love that movie, I liked it. I know it wasn't perfect, but it laid the groundwork for certain things with other characters that we're going to see play roles in the MCU for the first time or again. So yeah, I think it was a really good year for a lot of entertaining content. And I think in a year or two, you know, down the road, people are going to look back on 2021 and they're going to see kind of where the groundwork was laid, just like they did with the early MCU. And they're like, oh, wait, that was all building toward the Infinity Saga. So, yeah, I think it was a really fun year. It might be a little bit more fun for guys like us who have that backstory and are kind of anticipating what's coming, rather than people who aren't big on the books and are just the MCU.
Yeah.
But they're going to appreciate everything they got this year even more after, or this past year, even more after 2022.
Definitely. Vinny, what do you think, bro?
I think Brennan has a lot of good points as far as what people don't realize is set up, because I feel like the saving grace of the projects that didn't really grab me this year, I was able to at least take away that there's elements of it that will be great in the future. But Falcon and Winter Soldier is setting up, Cap, and a big shift to the dynamic of what Captain America means to the MCU in the future and to Avengers, and basically the jump off point of what will likely be a all new Avenger team. Like in the comics, the all new Avengers, where they made a lot of different changes to present a new type of team. We get to see kind of the crux of that in that show. They of course, and that is on an Avengers front, and then on a more universal scale, the Eternals film sets up huge things from a cosmic standpoint with the Celestials and Star Fox, and also on a ground level from what we might see from Blade. So what was probably one of my biggest disappointments of the year still has those groundwork laid for the future, which eventually might make it more enjoyable when we go back and say, okay, like here's some stuff we didn't even realize was also going to play a part into all that. And of course, WandaVision and Loki and Strange and No Way Home all sets up Multiverse of Madness, which also will trickle on. Like I feel like you don't have that many different things setting up one movie unless there's going to be, big ramifications. I mean, because Kang won't even be showing up until Ant-Man. So that's, so Loki also sets up Quantumania. Yes. So there's so many moving parts, and it's really fun for the casual fan because they get to be raw to everything that's coming, but it's really fun for us too, for us who know that means that might happen there. So I feel like the Disney Plus shows did almost a perfect job on both fronts as far as being entertaining up front with a lot to produce on the back end down the line. And the movies, at least 3 out of 4, set up stuff down the line, even if only for me, they were 2 for 2 on surface level entertainment value, because I feel like there was 2 disappointing movies, 2 really great movies, but the really great movies were really fucking great. So you can't win them all, and I feel like with the pandemic, with the Fox acquirement of X-Men and Fantastic Four, I feel like they have a lot on their plate, and I feel like this was 2021 was a huge gear up year where they did a lot of experimental stuff and did some safe stuff, and everything that they did was in a way a placeholder for some huge stuff to come, while having some great content within that kind of what would we as a spoiled Marvel audience consider a low of a year. Which any other year that having something like Spidey and Eternals and Black Widow and all that would be like, wow, 4 Marvel joints in the year when they usually only did 2. It would be a huge year. So can't complain. We got a lot of amazing content, but thank God for the Disney Plus shows. They held it down. Yeah,
definitely. Jedi Kid, man, what do you think about this year and where we're heading, man? Look, controversy aside, what I love about the simple fact is we got content, and it started discussions, it started debates, but those debates in a good way, because I think that, again, it brought people into the universe. I think I saw an article today where they were talking about not Multiverse of Madness, but No Way Home has changed the scope of Hollywood and how people how we see films now. And we got a lot of directors. I mean, again, directors, actors alone, a lot of them that have actually hated on these films. You know what I mean, for the accomplishments, but because, come on. as a director, I kind of try to see both sides when you look at it. Like, okay, yes, there's great content out there, but for us who are creating like these original films, they don't get played because they're overshadowed by these big box office draws.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a way that you can share the spotlight if you create a good film, and on top of that, if you support one another. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of that. So we got a lot of controversy when it came to that. But at the same time, with the Disney Plus platform, with some of the films that they released and the response, through a pandemic, I think that we really got great content.
Great content.
So what do you think about it, man?
I think Disney Plus, they really were like a huge filler for the time that we were going to get the movies near the end of the year. And I think they did an excellent job. There was a couple of movies that I was okay with, but I got through it. But from WandaVision to Loki to Falcon and Winter Soldier, like all of them hit. I don't think any of them really missed. And then the last one with Hawkeye was amazing. Like, we got Echo for the first time. We got Kingpin back. And then the icing on the cake was SpiderMan at the end of the year. With now we're going to Multiverse of Madness. Now all things lead to Secret Wars, and then we're going to have Young Avengers at some point. They were all introduced. Half of them were introduced through the Disney Plus TV shows. So I'm really excited for this next year of film and what we got coming from the Marvel side of the house. Because and then you can't forget about now I'm also hearing about they're going to have live action Illuminati, and they're probably going to be like overseeing the multiverse. And one big rumor is they're going to have Tony Stark back, but it's going to be Tom Cruise, so he'll be a variant. So, dude, like I can't wait to see all this play out, man. I'm excited to see what they got going on.
My daughter in the building, she said she just finished Jessica Jones season 1 now, watching Luke Cage. She's all in.
Dude, I envy her for experiencing it all for the first time,
She is all in.
Oh.
She is all in. Like, she is going nuts right now. It was crazy because
Listen,
I messaged her on New Year's Eve, and I was saying, hey, babe, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm thinking that she'd be like, I'm out with my friends and this, that, and the third. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, nah, me and my mom were watching Endgame. I'm getting her caught up. I'm like, what? Yo, I'm like, man. My daughter right now is knee deep in this lore, bro. And I'm so proud of it. You don't understand how, that makes me feel so good, bro. But good points, man. Like Jedi Kid, like, we're experiencing a new phase in things. Brendan, I asked you basically because I wanted you to, because I think, am I right by what it is? All right, okay, let me ask you a question because I'm just trying to see the order. So we have She-Hulk coming, right? But I think the next slate right now, the next slated show is Miss Marvel, if I'm right. I think that's
after, I think.
Is it?
I think Ms. Marvel...
Is Miss Marvel first, or is it after She-Hulk?
I thought Ms. Marvel was in the second half of the year.
I don't know because they were filming it. So which one's next? Like, what is the next film?
They haven't announced.
They haven't announced. We don't know.
They haven't announced what's actually next.
Well, the thing is, because we keep seeing like Miss Marvel on the marquee on basically a lot of like advertisements.
I thought they said. I thought I saw a thing. Coming to like the Disney Plus, like they did their kind of hype video for like shows, and they said like I can't. One of them I thought they said was June, because we got Book of Boba right now, and then another one I think was after that, and so it might be actually earlier than June. I'm pretty sure one they set like a month for, and then others were like coming soon. There you go. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not sure the exact order. I'll tell you, I want all of them, but I want Moon Knight the most. Yeah. But I don't think that's the first one. But
I forgot about Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight too.
I'm almost. I don't know. I mean, I think.
I feel like I'm almost positive they haven't announced anything
Yeah.
first on purpose, so that way they could.
Mm.
I feel like they're probably doing multiple shows production wise
Mm.
at the same time, so it comes down to what wraps and gets finished first, more so than you know planned. So I feel like we may get. If I had to guess, I'd guess that we were going to get She-Hulk first.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk first because we got to see Matt
Especially
Murdock
if-
again in Spider-Man. So I mean,
especially to capitalize off of Matt Murdock.
mhm.
Okay, so with that said, then Brendan, I
So
want to
it
ask
says,
you this.
sorry, it says Ms. Marvel summer 2022.
Okay,
That's all it says. The others don't have dates. They just say Moon Knight and She-Hulk both just say 2022.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we
Ms.
don't
okay.
have
Marvel
an order.
specifically says summer 2022.
Oh, okay.
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 So I asked you earlier because I wanted you to kind of give everyone, because when we hear, I mean, we know we're kind of familiar with these characters, and we know the connection that She-Hulk is going to have to a character like Matt Murdock. But for those who don't know, can you kind of like give them like a filler or fill them in a little bit on just like not you don't have to give them full history, but
Yeah,
just
we'll when we get closer to the She-Hulk show dropping, we'll dive deep into her character. But Jennifer Walters, cousin of Bruce Banner, and she's a lawyer. She's a defense lawyer, and so it's a perfect kind of crossing for her to team up with Matt Murdock and Daredevil in some capacity. How exactly they're going to do it, I'm not sure, because we know very, very little. I'm pretty much next to nothing about the plot for the She-Hulk show. But the cool thing is that there are intersections for her kind of human persona of Jennifer Walters and Matt Murdock to cross. And then there are cross paths for their superhero alter ego identities, So it's not, I think whatever is going to happen, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily going to be like a straight up kind of like whodunit and they're defending somebody together or something, but I think there's going to be a little bit more of kind of like a mystery to this show than people are expecting, because I think they're going to be working together in both realms, right? They're going to be working together as superheroes. Now, I don't know if they're going to know each other's secrets right off the bat, if they do learn them later, when that's going to come. But Jennifer Walters is she's very different than Banner. Although she has gone through stretches where the Hulk kind of rage consumes her and she can't really control it that well. She's somebody who has more control over it, and kind of like the era when when you had Smart Hulk or Gray Hulk in the books, not like the Professor Hulk that we have in Endgame, but so there are stretches like that. Then there are stretches like they just did recently, and she became like the Red Room's Hulk, like when she was supposedly like brainwashed by the Red Room and stuff. So, and she was kind of just completely rage filled, but she still had her faculties a little bit there. So we might see her kind of go full tilt and lose control for a little bit. And maybe Matt is kind of used as a mechanism to bring her back. I don't know. We really have no details about what kind of story they're trying to tell with this one. So right now it's just speculation, but in a fun way. But I do think that we'll get some cool... I also think that if they're working together on the legal side, that we might also get to see Foggy, which I loved Foggy in the Netflix show. I thought he was really, really good for that. And he's a good grounding kind of character, so I'm hoping that we see a little bit of him. We also don't know how much Bruce is going to have a role in this show. Obviously some, and we've seen him in a couple teaser images, but beyond that we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I do think he's going to play a significant role, and this factors into something that we'll talk about more in depth later tonight. But this year is a big year for Marvel, and and it's a big year, and the stuff that they've teased, which again we'll talk about more of that in depth as we go for the comic books. But this year specifically is the 60th anniversary of this guy right here. Okay, and there's going to be big stuff happening with Spider-Man. Not so much in the MCU because we already just got No Way Home, although he might pop up in others. But in the books, it's going to be huge with him. It is also the 60th anniversary of the Hulk, of Bruce Banner, right? So they're going to be doing big stuff in the books with him, and I think he's going to factor in, significantly in the TV and film side as well. It's the 60th anniversary of Doctor Doom. So we could be seeing some teases as we move closer and closer to next year's Fantastic Four. And it is also the 60th anniversary of Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. So there's a lot of stuff but then we look at and this is the 60th anniversary, and this is a big one in the comics, and we'll get to this later. This is the 60th anniversary of Thor. And we also get Thor, Love and Thunder. So those are all going to be pretty big.
Mania.
Next year is the 60th anniversary of the X-Men. And that's going to be big because the Eternals and the Eternals, Avengers, and X-Men are all going to have a big crossover event later this year in the comics. And I think that what they've got going in the books and the fact that next year is the 60th anniversary of the X-Men, I think we could see some teases toward the end of this year or early next year that is going to start to shape how the X-Men and mutants come into the MCU. But I think it's all going to kick off with She-Hulk and how Matt Murdock and how Bruce Banner and all those kind of layer into that as we move forward to like Secret Invasion and the rest.
The 61 to 64, that's the jumping off point of a lot of Marvel comics. So there's a lot of anniversaries stemming from that cluster of 61, 64. Stan and Jack and Ditko and them they were having a freaking field day. Like talk about
absolutely.
Consolidated era of creativity.
And they had years of comic books prior to 61, but 61, 62, that was the stretch where, literally the entire continuity of Marvel Comics kicked off with the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four first.
All right, in 61. And so and obviously they couldn't line that up because of when they were developing all these film properties.
Right.
But they are going to give us the Fantastic Four that we've been dying for, that we haven't gotten in the previous iterations, because they recognize this literally. And I love Marvel, but I was not the biggest Fantastic Four reader. I was much more into X-Men and other characters, but they are quite literally the first family of Marvel, and they're going to respect that. And I'm telling you, Fantastic Four, that film is going to blow people away. I have no doubt in my mind.
I've always wanted the Four more than Spidey, more than X-Men. That's who I've always wanted to get in there, because I knew with the Four comes one of the most incredible groups from a just a family dynamic, but also one of if not the greatest rogues galleries in comics.
Oh man!
So,
did you read the one shot, the timeless one shot that came out last week?
So all those villains that come with the Four is
dude, that was so exciking.
That's great.
So exciting.
As far as She-Hulk, though, I'm wondering what the time period will be, because we've seen Mark Ruffalo in human form in whatchamacallit, in what was it? What did we just see?
Shang-Chi.
And Shang-Chi.
Thank you. And Shang-Chi. And what if he reverted back because he needed to for the transfusion?
Oh yeah. I didn't think about that.
That might come into play. Like he might have put the Smart Hulk aside to to save Jennifer. So I don't know if that might have been something that's already happened and
Well-
she's already like exists in this world, and we're going to catch
That could
up.
be a good way for us to get him back to the Hulk that we
To
really
Hulk.
want.
Right.
Mhm.
because if they do that, then it opens the door for him, mucking around with his biology again, as opposed to just what I am now and just being done with it. So him reverting back and doing something with her, and then trying to go back to Smart Hulk, maybe something screws up and he gets back to,
Back to himself.
a
Yeah.
lot of people want to see.
See you.
And it
There's
could
a lot
open the door for Red Hulk too. We maybe
Oh,
Thunderbolts
man, I
goes-
hope we
So
get that with Thunderbolt Ross,
here's my
man.
question. Here's my question though. That's where I
Man.
wanted to ask.
Mhm.
Now, with this particular show, it has potential to do a couple of different things. One,
Thunderbolt Ross.
it can. Well, we know it's going to introduce, and I have. There's
some
no doubt in
point.
my mind that Thunderbolt Ross is going to show up in this. But
Oh yeah.
He could get it.
Do you
because
think-
while he's doing that transfusion,
He hates
could get
the
a vial.
Hulk, bro.
exactly. But
He could
do
get a
you
vial and
think
be like, "Nah, we're going to use this."
now we already know that also in this show, Abomination is going to be there as well. So what the reason why I'm asking this is there is no doubt in my mind, and this is it. I just want to think if you feel this way, no doubt in my mind that we're going to actually see an iteration of the Thunderbolts in this show. No doubt.
I think so.
I think he might set it up. I think it
I
might
think
set it up.
I think it's
It
going to have
already
to set up in
started.
some way because
It's
if
already
Abomination's there, that means he's there for a specific particular
US
reason.
Abomination's already out there. So
Just
it's
think
like,
about that. Think about if they set it up. Imagine the last scene of this show is Red Hulk after he
Thunderbolt
steals
getting
the
it.
vial.
Yep.
Right, that could be.
That'd be
My
huge.
question is how is Abomination going to factor in, given what we saw of him in Shang-Chi? Like, what kind of role is he going to play? Is
But
he
see,
going
I
to
think
be?
he's still
That's
pissed
my
at
point.
Bruce, though, man. I think he's still pissed off at
But
Bruce.
nah, but see,
Yeah.
here's my point though. I think
But he's
that
cool with
with
Wong.
Abomination, and the reason why he's going to feel how he's going to factor into this is because I believe he's going to be led there by because remember he's at the Ark right now. Like he's so I got a strange feeling he's going to be led there by Thunderbolt Ross to interfere in something or either capture or so this is what I'm thinking. This is why I really believe that we're going to see an iteration or the start of the Thunderbolts.
You
That's
think
what I
Walker
believe.
shows up?
Huh?
You think Walker shows up?
I don't know. That I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know
We
if
already
that's
got-
going to happen.
You already got one of them, and you got U.S. Agent. So all you need now is Red Hulk. Yelena can play a role in there somehow. I mean, we got pieces out there already that could be in the Thunderbolt. So
What about Amadeus show? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that would
Yeah.
probably be too early.
Yeah,
there
that'll
might
be
be
early
some
for
like
him.
teases, or we might see like his human form in like the background or something. I don't think they're gonna go too hard into that right now. I think they're focused on developing Jennifer
Yeah.
Walters.
Look at my
Yeah,
daughter.
dog.
She's
Oh, that
impressing me.
Omega Hulk.
What about
Okay,
a Mega
okay.
Hulk?
And,
He pulled it out.
My daughter, I'm telling you, she's on point.
don't forget, we could see Zemo come into play too.
Yeah,
And
what's up?
Doc Samson, you got Doc Samson too with his green
Yep.
hair.
Yeah,
So, I
because
mean-
Zemo is on the Ark as well. So that's what I'm saying. Look, there is no question that they are setting up the Thunderbolts, bro.
Oh, I
know
forgot
they're doing
about Zemo, bro.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Damn, I forgot about him.
And
He on the
they-
art
Yeah, and they didn't do all that with him to just
for nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have Zemo too. Oh man, that's gonna be good,
I mean,
man.
he was a cult hit during Falcon.
Yeah.
and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see more of him. So I definitely
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
There's
forgot about
so
him.
much. There's so much, and then I mean, again, we still have Daredevil in the mix too.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope they don't soften him up. I hope they don't nerf him down like Disney
Well-
is good for.
Well,
I hope
feel
not,
like
bro.
it's going to be a give and take. He's going
Mhm.
to get more of his powers enhanced to match what it's like in the comics. And you've seen that with him
Mhm.
catching the brick. That's not something that he ever did anything like that on his show. But we're not going to see him drawing blood.
I'm with
Because
you,
we
Big
all
Cave.
know-
As long as Zemo keeps the
Bruh.
mask on,
The mask
he has to
on.
keep it on a little
Keep
bit
it on
longer.
this
Come
time.
on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, and then
Well,
maybe
see-
we'll finally get that hot toy.
I hope so,
Ooh.
man. It was
I-
pictures
I've
of
been-
it last year. They had pictures
Yeah.
of it already last year. So I mean,
yeah. It was like last.
they
summer,
always
but
tease,
yeah.
bro, like good stuff, and then
They've
they
been
don't put it
teasing
out
for like the
sometimes.
longest time.
But bro,
You know,
Kingpin, we all know Kingpin would have killed that this girl's mom in on a Netflix show.
Yeah.
When he pulled that door off, I'm like, yeah, this is they nerfed him down a little bit. You know, I understand it's Disney Plus or whatever, but
it's like they have they'll have more powers, but the ramifications.
Yeah. If he was on Netflix, her mom would have been dead.
I think you got to remember though. You got to remember. Yes, I agree. You're not going to get the same kind of blood and intensity that you would on Netflix. I think we also have to remember that Netflix. Yes, they had like 4 shows that were, but they were they were building their own kind of world within a world, but it was still very small. It was New York City. It was just that, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Feige and Marvel with Disney Plus and the films right now, they're thinking about literally taking the entire Marvel Comics like 616, man, and putting that on the screen, right? So they're not just thinking. It's easier to go hard and just like kill some people and just be brutal when you're only dealing with this small microcosm. But when they've got things that are having implications for every other property in this like 30 film some odd TV, that's when you start to realize like, he could kill her. But if they have plans for that character, for her, that they want to use down the road, be it with him or with Kate, that,
I forget her name in the comics, too, though.
And there are times where, like, there are characters that you're like, how are they not dead? And it's like, well, because comics, right? So I think we have to lend some of that to the TV and film side of things, too, where it's like, Fisk could have, like, grabbed her and just snapped her neck.
Oh, he would have.
But she might have had other value. He might have had other things that he wanted to at least get out of her, take her somewhere, and then deal with it too.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that he wouldn't have killed her, but he might have just been like, I'm going to take you somewhere, get what I need out of you, and then I'm going to kill you, and they're not going to find your body. Have you heard
about Berthold being on the fence about coming over for Punisher because he wanted to be too soft?
They won't bring him over for that.
I don't think they've even.
Yeah,
asked him.
I think people were asking.
I don't think it's up to Bernthal. I don't think Disney wants to do Punisher right.
No, they definitely don't.
Punisher's he's way too hard.
Media.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like there's too many implications of bringing that character in right now, especially in the state of the world, and they're trying to kind of hold back. I think it's
given what they're doing with him in the comics right now too. So
it's not out of the realm of discussion. It's just the simple fact that right now I don't think that's what they're leaning on. Like they're probably going to just kind of fall back on that for right now. But now what I'm really excited for. Now we're talking about, now keep this in mind. I know people are going to be like, well, what about I'm talking about MCU films right now. I'm not talking about the merging MCU Sony deal. I'm talking about the MCU properties as of right now.
Disney, Marvel. Gotcha.
Exactly. So Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now,
cannot wait for this.
This show, I think, it's okay. So we had, of course, No Way Home, but that segued into this. The ramifications from that film also is going to play out in this particular film. There's a lot of things about this film, so much potential in this film that we still don't know about, but man, like
tons of cameos,
tons of things. And I think like the first trailer that we got really didn't show too much at all, but I think that certain trailer is going to give us a lot. Now, here's the thing. We know Vinny don't watch trailers. Like, that's just not his thing. That's the division. That's the divisiveness.
Just show us that title and just like wait. Just let everybody just see it.
In fairness, though, Vinny, honestly, I don't think, other than like, which people have already said, so this isn't like a spoiler for you, like seeing like Supreme Strange, right?
But okay, now Matt, you didn't see that until you were in the movie watching it.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is the stuff they have shown, to be honest, beyond that. I don't think it really gives that much away. What they've shown so far is more showing the visual style of it. It's less about like honestly, other than Supreme Strange being there, there was nothing really revealed in the trailer and the footage that they showed. There was actually a reveal by a toy company about another version of Strange that we're going to see in the movie. That wasn't even in the trailer.
Protector Strange, I think it was.
The Defender.
Defender Strange. Yeah.
So. But one thing, Leo, what you said when you know, like, and Jedi, you said too about a lot of cameos. One thing I can say though that I was a little bit nervous going into No Way Home, and I know that's like on the Sony side of the MCU, but it was still Marvel produced, right?
Yeah.
I was a little nervous that there were gonna be too many cameos crammed in, and it was gonna water down the plot itself.
Yeah.
I don't have that fear about this movie now, given the way that I saw that they executed No Way Home.
No Way Home,
I was a
yeah.
little concerned, and I have other concerns about this film because you know I'm not the biggest Sam Raimi fan, so. But I am still excited for it and looking forward to seeing it. But I will say I have less concerns about like too many cameos and it not actually serving a good story as I did prior because of the way they executed No Way Home. I feel like, okay, Marvel, they know what they're trying to do here. They're trying to tell a great story first, and all these additional characters come in and are going to serve that purpose. They're not going to detract from it. At least that's what I'm feeling right now, and I'm hoping that proves to be true.
Yeah.
No Way Home was super fan service, man. Yeah, a lot of closure with characters.
But in the right ways.
Right. Raimi verse and then Andrew's movie. It was so much closure all the way around, dude. Like,
yeah, I never felt
Peter
like the
got
plot
to save
suffered from too many cameos.
Right. It was, excellently done, man. The way they did this movie was. I was crying with my daughter in some of the movie, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, a lot of
I cried like a
closure.
bitch at some points. I cried like a bitch.
When
Absolutely.
Andrew saves MJ, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. I gotta walk
like,
out.
pass me the fucking tissue.
Yeah, I gotta walk out. Like,
But
this movie was
here's my
excellent.
thing. I'm excited. I'm excited about. And I know, Brendan. I know you're not really a Sam Raimi fan, but I'm looking at it from the horror aspect of and the elements. I'm looking at how he can really exploit the darker tones in this film. That's I think that's where I'm kind of at the simple fact that I believe a lot of what he wanted to do with Spider-Man is I think he's going to experiment in this film when it comes to darker tones, because he did want to have, like, even when they introduced and they wanted to actually introduce Venom, he wanted a much darker tone with that character. First of all, he didn't even want to introduce the character.
He didn't really like the character of Venom, but if he was gonna have to do it, he wanted to do it his way.
Yeah,
and they didn't let him do it. They gave him Topher.
But he wanted it more comic-y.
The cool part about Raimi on this project is they got rid of Scott Derrickson because he wanted to make a horror Doctor Strange movie. And they were like, no, we want to add jokes, we want to add some humor into it. It can't be just straight up horror. And then what they wound up with was the epitome of the horror / comedy director, like Sam Raimi's movies.
Absolutely,
that's what he's known for. It's like it's amazing they didn't think of him first because
not gonna lie, I was excited to have Scott Derrickson come back for
a
it.
horror / comedy movie. The person you think of is fucking Sam Raimi.
Raimi's excellent for this movie, man.
Agreed. Yep.
Thing. So
we're getting a Bruce Campbell cameo.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Of course.
We got to see Bruce Campbell. We got to see his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. But what I'm really excited about. It's kind of hard to talk about because Vinny's here. Like listen. I'm just all around excited. I'm excited that they're bringing Mordor back. Bro. As a character in this film, because like I said, his story, there's a lot of depth to that particular character.
They got cut out.
We didn't get a chance to see in the first Doctor Strange film that I think we'll get a chance to see now. And on top of that, he's powerful. Man. He is a powerful character. Don't get it twisted. Mordor is a powerful character.
He go toe to toe with Doc for a little bit, man.
Yeah.
As his acting ability is a next level too. The guy's amazing. And guys, I'm telling you, you're hyped for this movie, and you want some more Doctor Strange fun. You got to be reading the Death of Doctor Strange in the books right now.
I have it. Oh
it
my
is
god,
good.
great
it is
book,
fun.
bro.
Read the tie-ins. There aren't that many, but the tie-ins are worth reading. The Spider-Man one is on point. They're fun, man. They're definitely. It's only like a 5-issue run. There are 4 out right now. The 5th one comes out in a couple weeks, and then they've got like 5 or 6 different tie-ins to it. So it's like maybe 10 books total. It's fun, man. And if you're
only
jonesing
Doctor
for this
Strange
movie,
would have a fail
read
safe.
this now.
Right. For his
Yeah,
own death. But that book is dope, man.
I
That's a
took
great
the
book, bro.
next 2 days off just specifically so I can get caught up. I just needed a break, so I took the next 2 days off work.
That's all I've been doing.
Working with anybody, so I can, you know what I mean, just get myself caught up as much as I can. So,
Yeah, man, dude,
and I
Marvel
took 2 days
Comics
off
is-
next week, so I actually have like a 4-day weekend in a sense because I'm off, the next, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I just needed that break in between to kind of
Yep.
get caught up on a lot of things. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Death
and
of
I
Doctor
have the
Strange,
book.
boy.
Yeah, the Death of Doctor Strange. But here's the thing, like with this film, and I think we know that Kevin Feige's original intent was to break the cinematic universe up into two divisions. One was the galactic version, and the other one was the more earthly tone, psychological, the magic realm. So we know that he wanted to
Right.
actually do that, and I think that now. I believe that a lot of these films, especially the way they are so far, there's going to be a lot of connective tissue because we have the Multiverse of Madness that's going to lead into the next slate of films. But it's going to be bouncing back and forth between Earth and, because after this, of course, we have what, Thor, Love and Thunder?
Then Quantum Mania after that.
And then Quantumania,
Yeah.
which, there's going to be a lot that kind of plays in that as well. But
I'm not sure what film comes after Doctor Strange. If it's Thor, I think there's something in between Strange and Thor.
Is it Guardians? Guardians Christmas special or something, and then Guardians or something?
No, that's a Disney film.
Yeah, the
That's Disney
Guardians
Plus,
Christmas
right?
special is going to be on
That's
Disney Plus. Yeah.
But then you got the Guardians movie coming out, Guardians 3.
That's probably 23 though.
Oh, okay. Love and Thunder, Quantum Mania, and
Yeah. That's the next one.
what is it, Quantumania?
No, Thor.
Thor, Love and Thunder, yeah.
Strange in
Thor
May.
and Quantum Mania.
Strange in May, Thor in July, and then Black Panther in November. But
Speaking of,
I don't even know if that's gonna make it.
I don't think Black Panther gonna be done in November, bro.
speaking of
There's another movie delayed.
I don't think it is either.
Love and Thunder,
It's gonna get pushed back. I like how that's flying over the radar. By the way, nobody's really talking about Love and Thunder.
speaking of Love and Thunder, man,
Man, that people
Did
are
y'all
sleeping
see
on that one.
this?
That one's going to be, dude.
Oh,
did y'all see
yes.
this? Did
Yes.
anybody see? Bro,
Yeah, I
she's
saw that
getting
yesterday. Bro.
bro, like literally.
She
Did
like
y'all
she been
see
working
this?
out like in Gold's gym, old school gym, because she's.
Dude,
got,
I'm telling
she
you,
got ready
man.
for this.
That looks
I-
like Vinny's
like-
room.
I'm going to rain
I
down
got a pair of Jordans
fucking
to match,
hell and thunder on Howard Chan if we do not get Valkyrie from this
I know.
movie in 6 scale. Like, you got to be kidding.
That's like a
Yeah.
Thor suit kind of sort of almost.
Yeah.
Like a
It's-
female
it's-
version of a Thor outfit.
And again, I'm
kinda.
telling you guys, this is the
Yes, Mike.
60th anniversary of Thor. There is going to be some shit going down in this movie. They're doing a big damn thing with Thor in the books coming up. And there's going to be some shit that goes down in this movie that I'm telling you people are not going to see coming.
Yeah. This suit is a harken back to the suit that Valkyrie wore during I keep forgetting that run. It's going to
It's no cape though.
in a
is it?
second.
No cape.
No, there's no cape on there right now.
No cape at all. At least for what
She
we
don't
see
need it.
right now. I mean, I
Probably
don't
like
think
a blue
she's, but,
cape or something.
but I think that, like I said, I mean, her presence literally. Look at Toya and said, "I'm thirsty all of a sudden."
Yeah, right.
Yo, like
Story.
she,
True story.
like literally, like I think that she's.
Shit, I agree. I
um,
need some more beer.
I mean, look, I was already in love with Tessa Thompson. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
need any further, but like, damn.
Since what is it? Oh my god, what movie was that? Well, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, you talking about?
Oh, she was in Creed.
In
She was in
Creed.
Creed and Creed 2.
Oh
And she was,
man,
but
And
bro,
she was in,
Westworld. She's good on
Westworld.
She's
Westworld.
definitely she's dope.
I
in
forgot
Westworld.
about
She's good on
Westworld.
Westworld.
Yeah.
Dude, she's been on shows back. She was on like shows back in the day too. That you're like, oh damn! Like she was on an episode. I think it was like Rizzoli and Isles, that like TNT like cop show back in the day. Like she's actually been around for a minute. Acting, but like, man, no, she's amazing.
She's found her space, man. She's there now.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot wait for.
I forgot about Westworld. Oh my
And
goodness! I'm like, oh,
I love the simple fact that.
Westworld was that shit, right?
What'd you say?
Yeah,
Westworld was crazy.
Westworld was crazy.
Her range on that show, you see her acting range, man. She was spectacular on that show.
Yeah. She killed it on Westworld.
What I'm definitely excited about, Love and Thunder, is because, like I said, I mean, it's daring that they're bringing in Gore the God Butcher. Like, it's really daring that they're actually bringing this character in.
Christian
on film.
Bale.
Yo, he's gonna go hardcore for that role, man.
He's gonna go hardcore for Gore. I mean, because when I think
He's gonna
of
murder
Gore, and I think of Christian Bale, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like, it really
Gore
does
the
make
God
sense that
Butcher.
he's.
Yo, honestly,
I think about how just amazing that name is just on its own.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Thor's losing an arm in this movie.
I think so too. I've been thinking that
he's
because
losing an arm.
the garbage can do the same thing that Hela did with making the liquefied metal, the swords and stuff. He's getting something chopped off.
Because remember, Thor lost the arm, and I think
the metal arm.
I think Christian Bale is cutting Chris Hemsworth's arm off in this movie.
I think so too.
I think so.
Well,
too.
I mean, with the blade that he's actually using, I mean, it would make sense. If something like that did happen, I don't know.
And I'm telling you, this is gonna be a big deal for him going up. I mean, first of all, the God Butcher is a big ass deal in the books.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
But they try and mirror kind of like how big they're going with certain things in the books and in the movies. Like, it may not be the exact story, but if they're doing something huge with one of these characters, then they tend to try and give them something meaty to work with in the films as well. And right now, what they're teasing and moving forward in the comics with Thor is, and I think Thor is going to die in the comics. That's my belief. A lot of people think that. I think later this year he's going to die.
I hope not, man.
But the tease, and they've put these images out. They've been in the, like, as his kind of like, you know, visions and stuff in the books, but then in the Timeless one shot they just did, and in promotional material that Marvel is putting out there. So this is like all out there for people to see.
Butcher.
Thor is getting his ass whooped and about to be killed by Thanos wielding a Infinity Stone encrusted Mjolnir.
What?
Okay, that's some crazy ass shit. They're
Holy
doing something
shit.
really, really big. All right, and I think, and obviously you don't have Thanos in the MCU right now, but the God Butcher is a very good substitute for you know, as far as like a really big scary foil for Thor. Like, to be honest,
You think we get Beta Ray Bill?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see Beta Ray Bill.
It's gonna be a big
up.
movie, man.
This movie could, and because Beta Ray could really fit in with the Guardians and stuff too, so I think we could see him. But I don't think he'll be a main focal point, because I think they're really gonna look at Thor. They're really gonna be looking at Jane. And
Jane Foster being
I think
Thor.
those are the three right there that the focus is on. But I think the God Butcher, I think, is really, because you gotta have somebody who can step it up. And if you're gonna bring an actor in who can stand toe to toe with
Christian Bale, bro,
and take that over as the villain, and I always thought Christian Bale was better as kind of an unbalanced, like a villain or something, than like he was good as Bruce Wayne Batman, but he wasn't the thing you loved the most about the Nolan films, right? And to me, the epitome of Christian Bale and what I love seeing him in, if you go back and watch a David Ayer movie that he did back in the day called Harsh Times, That shows some
Oh,
serious
okay.
range from Christian Bale.
look at
And I think
everything
we're
else-
gonna
American
see-
Psycho. American Psycho.
That's good too.
What'd
but
you say,
harsh
Vinny?
Times.
If you look at
Mhm.
everything else they're doing to kind of build up the all new Avengers, Jane Foster Thor fits into that. So
Mhm.
whether he
Mhm.
dies or goes or is put in stasis, like he may even they might even do an Odin sleep gimmick for him or something,
Mhm.
something for him to go away and have Jane be Thor for the rest of the phase 4, and then
Mhm.
come back when they're ready for it, because of all the different Marvel characters, actors, they are always so cryptic whether or not they want to be in future films, so that way the door is open where you don't know they're not going to die. But Chris Hemsworth is always saying, "I'll be Thor as long as they want me to be Thor. Like I'll be
Yeah,
around."
he
forever."
loves it. He
It's
loves
almost like,
it.
Yeah.
it's almost like a misdirect so that you don't see him going away coming, because Evans and Downey Jr. were always talking about, I'm not going to do this forever, but we got another 2 or 3 coming up. Or
Well,
whatever,
Evans is back.
No, I'm saying
Evans
back
gone
in
for
the
2
day.
times. Oh.
They've never been as vocal as like, oh, when
Oh,
do
as,
it. But
yeah,
Hemsworth
yeah.
is going to do it forever, I think, to kind of like throw you off the trail.
Mhm.
You're right. It could be a misdirect. He could we could see this movie ending with him losing an arm and going into the Odin sleep or something.
Mhm.
And he's
Yeah,
out
I
of the
agree
mix
with
in
you.
the
I think he'll lose
MCU
an
for a
arm.
while. Which
Mhm.
again,
Because
that
I don't
can help to explain his absence in other situations and other films where
Yeah.
you're like, well, why didn't
Right.
Thor come in?
Right, because in
Yeah.
the book, when Jane became Thor, Thor was around, but he was just
He was lost, dude.
It was weird. It was like he was just a guy with a hammer, but he wasn't immortal, but he wasn't immortal. It was his whole arc was weird. It was like they didn't have the balls to just completely kill him or remove him from the situation. So it kind of like it made you never really fully accept Jane as Thor, because he was still kind of around. You just knew it was just gonna be a matter of time before he got the hammer back and his powers back. It would make more sense for them to have him go away for a minute than for him to just be around as like a fallen, because he did that in Thor 1 already. I don't want them to just keep doing that again. If he's not Thor,
Agreed.
have him
Yeah.
go
Right, it'd be not worthy and
And
stuff.
like
Because
Mike
he went
Fella
through
said
it in the
chat,
books.
Right,
like Mike said in the chat, dude's arms are thick right now. Like I've never seen. Like he's the biggest he's ever been.
Yeah.
I
But you
think
gotta
that,
also.
He's gonna play Hulk
going to
Hogan
roll.
too.
much of an
He's gonna
impact.
play Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
he's going to
too.
play Hulk Hogan. Yeah, so
Extraction
he's
why
getting
he
he got jacked for Hulk.
Extraction
Hulk
2,
Hogan, bro.
and Extraction 2.
And he's playing Hulk Hogan, bro. So I mean, he
Yeah,
got beat up
he's
from Hulk
filmed.
Hogan.
They're filming that right now.
I feel like it's less likely that he would have survived in Extraction 1 than from God the Butcher. So at one of those, he's got to have a more realistic ending, because there's no way he survived the fucking first Extraction.
Yeah, Extraction 2. I thought he was.
Yeah,
I mean, one I thought he was dead in the water.
But you saw him off in the distance, out of focus. We saw him,
I was
and
like,
that we knew he was
bullshit.
still alive.
Yeah, I was like, bullshit.
Oh yeah, there's some bullshit, but we knew it was
Yeah,
some bullshit
yeah.
that was coming. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
like
a
come
surprise.
on, bro.
It was
You're
like-
alive. You got shot like 8 times and fell over in the water. Like I don't know.
He coughed.
But
he coughed up a pint of blood. And
Yeah, like you should be dead. Your kidneys are. You mean your kidneys
I mean,
got
that's
hit,
some
dummy.
straight comic shit right there.
That's
That's
definitely
comic shit.
That's
more
Punisher.
comics than anything.
That's
Yeah,
comic book
But,
Punisher.
Like I said, man, I think this one, I think it's going to be a great movie. I think there's going to be a lot of the Ragnarok elements that people loved and Taika Waititi's style. We're going to get a lot of humor.
Yeah,
But I think this is not that he's necessarily doing like a Thor trilogy, but I think this is going to be like Taika Waititi's like Empire. This is going to be the darker one. It's going to be darker than even Thor losing his eye and Hela and everything. I think this is going to be darker, and I think we're going to see Thor in a really bad way.
Do you guys think they have the balls to give Jane cancer?
They are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they got
They
to.
are.
They got to, bro.
Because that writes them out of it for whenever they're done. If it's not working, that just gives them a chance. Okay, she's dead from cancer, and it goes back to Chris Hemsworth. Like that's the perfect out. If they have the balls to give the cancer,
I absolutely think they'll do it.
They do it. She's gonna have cancer.
Give and take. When she's not Thor, she's fucking dying. It's
Dying.
So,
Yeah.
It's so
I think they'll do. I think she'll. They'll probably do that. I don't think they're gonna have her date Sam Wilson, but I do think, because I think they'll still keep her and Chris Hemsworth together. But I do think
they play on those heartstrings of having her, bald and
with the
dying.
cancer.
Oh,
That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be
Well, but
deep.
if you
Not
have
Thor?
an actress the
Man.
caliber of Natalie Portman that
That's what
can
I'm
pull
saying.
that
Do it.
off, it's a waste to
Chris,
not
do
do
Think
it.
about it. She didn't want to
Yeah.
do it. Think about that as a hey, if you come back, look at what happens in the comics. Would you be interested in this? I think that would be a great thing to pull her back in
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
definitely.
But Taika Waititi has already said that they're actually using that Mike Thor run, so they're going
Because
off
that's-
of
that's
that.
a-
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's
Yeah.
great. I got that
That's a
whole
big
Jane
difference
Foster
in the
run
world other
with
than just
Thor.
Thor's girlfriend.
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah.
much.
But
more
this is
than
also
just
why I wouldn't be surprised if the God Butcher doesn't die. In
I
this
hope they
film.
don't kill him off, bro. Like
Like
let
keep a
one
villain
bad guy.
around that you
Thank
can,
you.
Yeah.
Other than Loki, bro. Like
Yeah.
keep somebody around, bro. Like you got no villains left that you kill everybody off. They have to let God Butcher survive, bro. Like I hope they
Well,
don't kill him off. Beat him up, hurt him, lock
I
him
don't.
away.
I don't.
Just don't kill
I don't really
him.
think the intent. To be quite honest, I wouldn't really think the intent is to kill him off, but rather have him lay dormant just for a minute, just
Yeah.
because they can.
Yeah.
They'll
Hopefully
have something to come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
they'll-
want.
you know what I mean. So I mean, and the thing is, you got to understand, like, if Christian Bale's performance is as
It's gonna
good
be
as they're saying,
crazy. I
you know what
know.
I mean. Like, you can't just have him. You know, this isn't
One and
going to
done.
just be like another Black Dwarf situation. You know
No,
what I mean? So,
no.
I think people
Or-
are sleeping on it because
or
everybody,
Carnage.
when they talk about the Nolan trilogy, it's about like Heath Ledger and it's about the other actors around, and it's not like wow, he blew like Christian Bale blew you away as Bruce Wayne, and so I think people are sleeping on him in this because they think that he's only as good as whoever else is in, and it's not. It's about the it's about the role and what was required of him in those movies versus what is required. And there's more. There's more people. You may think that's crazy. There's more required of Christian Bale to pull this character off than there was of him to pull off Bruce
Batman.
Wayne and Batman. There really is.
His Bruce Wayne was bomb though. He did good Bruce Wayne, I think.
Oh,
The Batman
Luminara.
was. Thank you.
Yes.
Luminar, we're gonna.
Oh, that's a good
Wait.
question.
So if
I
she's
think so.
asking about in the MCU.
Are you
I
Luminar?
think so.
Specify that.
I already responded, but I think it's way after they already established X-Men to give.
Yeah, it's not going to be the first off the jump.
No. I think it's
But
coming.
I do think because what they're teasing and what we're going to be seeing in the Judgment Day crossover that is coming later this year, Luminara, in the comic books is the Avengers versus the X-Men versus the Eternals. That's
what the
going to be
comics-
jumping off, all right?
Oh,
and
man.
again, this you look at it and you see how things are lining up, how the Eternals are coming into prominence in both the books and the MCU at the same time, right? That's adorable, see? How we're going to get, the mutants coming in. So there's a lot that mirrors that. So yes, I do think we will see the Avengers and the X-Men clash at some point. It may be on a small scale to start. I don't think it's going to be a full-scale war, at least not until like maybe Phase 5 or beyond. But we are going to get that in the books. So, and there was a good Avengers versus X-Men storyline in the books a couple years back. So if you want that stuff, I'm telling you, jump into the books. There's so much for people who are like dying to get more content in the MCU that you will have a blast reading these books.
Yeah, AVX.
Yeah, Judgment Day is.
It really shows how like Cyclops too is a character that I feel like in the movies never got his due.
Yeah,
And people just sleep on him because they all think Wolverine. They all think, it's like, man, Cyclops is a deep character that is really worth diving into in the books.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Vinny?
If you think that Scott is just so boring and plain as he was in those early Singer films, just pick up virtually any version of him in the X books in recent years, and you'll just see just how much different Scott Summers is. Scott Summers is incredible.
Resurrection, pick up that. So like, man, there's a ton to his relationship.
He's the
with
leader
his father, with
that
his
he
kids.
was supposed to be. He was the
Right.
leader that he was made to be and was supposed to be. He's hardened. He's like the hardened character. Like,
Dude.
yeah.
Yep.
The young version of Scott Summers at one point started briefly to date Bloodstorm, okay, which was a vampire version of Storm from an alternate reality. That's badass.
We got an actual super chat, a $7.99 super chat by Ashley Chase. Thank you very much for that. Who do you want as the next big bad after Thanos, or do you think, or who do you think it will be?
Galactus.
No, it's
Well,
Kang.
right now it's Kang.
Right now it's Kang.
Right now it's Kang.
Oh well, Kang.
know
Oh
it's
yeah, Kang first. Yeah, Kang
So
first.
actually, it's Kang who
Kang.
A version of him was introduced
In Loki.
by Jonathan Majors in the end of Loki. That's who
Conqueror
Jonathan
Kang
Majors
will be
was
the
playing.
next big bad.
Yeah,
Conqueror
Conqueror
Kang.
Kang. So he's the green and purple suit that had that's what we're gonna see.
Blue
He's
face.
going to be the big bad. We're gonna see him in Quantumania. And obviously we already saw a glimpse of him. Like we even see the statues of the Kang the Conqueror version at
In
the
Loki.
end of Loki. So he is the next big bad. That's not to say that there won't be more than one big bad, okay? Because Kang's whole thing is about manipulating the timelines and stuff. So we could see very similar to kind of again the timeless tease and stuff and what's going on with Doom and these other kind of villains from different timelines and universes coming into one team. So it could be possible that Kang brings in different,
be
I mean,
awesome.
hell, I don't think it's going to happen, but Kang could bring in another timeline's Thanos. We don't really know how it's going to play out, but he is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
He is powerful enough to do whatever the hell
wants.
he wants to do.
Now, do you think they're going to mention the fact that to do the whole descendant of Tony Stark thing with him, or no?
No.
They could do the descendant thing with multiple characters, including Franklin. Down the line.
Yeah. Because he posed as an actual Franklin, and this is what they're saying he was. So you never know.
Now,
what
I got a
iteration you
question.
get.
I got a question for you guys, especially off of this timeline, this timeless one shot that they just dropped. Okay. Reed Richards is considered to be like the genius intellect of Marvel Comics. All right, you have all these geniuses. You have Bruce, you
Him
have
and Blue
Tony and
Marvel.
stuff.
Well,
Blue
Reed has
Marvel's
always-
smarter than Reed Richards.
Growing up, they've added kind of their own. Oh, by the way, like Devil Girl is and other things like that.
Right, but so that's
Yeah.
what I'm wondering if they maybe at some point play into Reed's darker side when they bring him into the MCU.
Maker.
No.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
not.
Things like that. And like in this timeless thing, all right, I mean, I'm sorry. All right, this is a one shot that just teases stuff that's coming. It's not like its own like a really big complete story. It teases potential storylines coming out. So this isn't like a big spoiler or anything. But Reed Richards in an alternate timeline that gets separated from like our kind of universe and stuff.
Right.
Basically goes, crazy trying to save his timeline and that's dying and kills everybody, including Doom. Takes on Doom's mask. Dude cuts his eyes out and replaces them with the time and the reality stones.
What?
And puts a whooping on Kang for a little bit, too. Like, there's this darker side of that character that I would love if they kind of explore a little bit when they bring in the Fantastic Four, so that there's more. Not if they have to do.
I
it
don't
all
think right off
away,
the bat.
but lay
Right
the
up-
groundwork
yeah.
for it. Like, don't make
Maybe
him
later
a
down the
nerdy,
line.
just kind of like stretchy guy. Like, give
I
him
think-
some depth.
I think basically
Yeah.
if they did something like that, it wouldn't be in a, okay, so we know that Kang is going to be extremely instrumental in the MCU going forward. We know how instrumental he was, definitely instrumental he was in the books. I mean, he's a pain, but in a necessary pain. But my thing is, if they were to do something like that in the MCU, I think what they're going to do is flesh out, first off, they're going to flesh out the Fantastic Four first. We already know that, it's going to be him
That's coming.
or them versus, come on, if they don't basically have them, with
Dr. Doom.
confrontation with Doom.
Now,
But
Kang doesn't like Doom, though. Kang
I
does
know.
not like Doom.
No, they don't
but
like each
they've
other at
worked
all.
together.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
worked together
Yeah.
numerous times, even though they've had
They
a
hate each other.
love-hate type or whatever. But what I'm saying is they will probably bring King back down the road, which will open up that sort of reality, whereas we get a chance to see that version of Reed Richards.
My only concern is I hope that Feige and everybody involved, and we all know that the 90% of the time they usually are smart enough to have Kang be a thorn in the universe's side of somebody that if you think that he's dead or gone, it's all right. Here's another version of him. It's like, fuck, how many times do we have to beat this guy?
Yeah.
Because that is the opportunity that was missed with Ultron. Ultron should be just as much of a thorn in everyone's side. Now, granted, it's not the comics where you can continually, have a villain come back and back and back.
Vinny.
And it's a robot.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Hey, Vinny.
And I think that's what they wanted to get away from. They wanted to have someone who like could emote and all that stuff. But Kang is someone like Ultron who is very, very difficult to get away from. That is not.
Vinny, you want me to spoil something for you, or you want me to spoil for you?
I don't want you to spoil.
Okay, then just remember now, everything that you're saying right now, and we'll come back to it later down the road.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I know with everything that they're doing, what if they didn't have Ultron as the main villain in that for no reason? But my point is, they made it so neat and clean. Like they didn't even tease that they may be using him down the line. So
yeah.
But with Ultron, like Kang, he can go away for years in the comics, and then it's like, oh, he's been over here building this army and doing that. So that might obviously be something that they do down the line with Ultron, but I hope that they make it very imperative and obvious to those when we see Kang and how he's everywhere. He's always doing shit. He's in the past. He's in the future. And when you think you got him beat, that was just a version of him fucking with you.
Yeah. Real quick, we got a $9.99 super chat by 6L Mafia. He said, "I'd love to see Messiah Complex, Curse of the Mutants, Necrosha movie run, but that'll probably never happen. There's enough X-Men for life."
I wouldn't say never.
Yeah.
I think it would take a while. I don't know.
A couple years.
Bro, they could do a Disney X channel. And it'd just be different X-Men shows.
They play the long game. So Messiah Complex and those they play the long game. So I don't think they just want to go and rehash Phoenix Saga, right? Because it's been done so poorly multiple times. I think I agree because I would love to see it done the right way. Yeah. So I mean, Messiah Complex, Curse of the Mutants, those are, to me personally, my big pie in the sky thing. And granted, you need to lay the groundwork with building the X-Men and mutant lore before you could do this one. But to me, it's Executioner Song. To me, I want Executioner Song.
Oh yeah.
So but you got to bring in Cable and Strife the right way. Then the question is, well, if Deadpool is going to be part of the MCU, are we talking about Josh Brolin Cable? Is that a thing that's doable? Is it retcon somehow? So I don't know. The bottom line,
I wanted to do more with Scott. No, I can't do that, man.
Yeah, there's so many X-Men storylines that they could do that would be absolutely phenomenal. You know what? I'll tell you what. My big hope though is that we don't just get X-Men movies. Give me an X-Force movie. All right.
Oh man.
Let's expand a little bit and give me some of those. Give me X Factor.
Yeah,
my hope is they don't skip ahead. I don't want them to do just skip ahead and pluck different characters from different generations. They like to be the
agreed. Yeah.
I would love the First Class to be the.
Let that come out after X-Men.
Because when they did X-Men First Class and there was a whole bunch of mutants that just were created
and plucked.
First Class was horrible. First Class was horrible.
All right, why do you have mutants in there that were just made up? Give us the OG First Class.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah. I don't want to see
Yeah. Personally, I dug First Class. I liked it, but I also saw it's all right, you didn't have to do that. You could have used this character instead. There were definitely flaws, but I think it was such an improvement over what we had before.
I mean, Scott was in the First Class. They didn't even have him there.
Which the thing that kind of
they had Havoc
really,
instead.
Havoc instead of Scott.
I don't want to see Blink yet. Do
that was way too early.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I didn't. What they did with First Class, especially what they did with Darwin, it just made no sense. It absolutely made zero sense to me. And I was like, yo, that was one character that should not have been in that film, because to waste him that way made absolutely no sense.
Also, not just the character, but the actor.
You basically
just wasted him, bro.
Yeah, and how you made Kevin Bacon, that version of Sebastian Shaw made absolutely no sense.
No sense at
all.
whatsoever.
Especially when you look at what they've done with Sebastian Shaw in the books.
Yeah,
it's a beast. The Hellfire Club is, man, that was a whole misuse of that whole group of mutants, man.
Max Gito, R.I.P. Darwin, they did him super dirty in that film.
They killed off a black character who was whole.
Darwin got 5 minutes in the film.
Kill him. His whole superpowers, his whole mutant powers, you can't kill him. And
He
they still
adapts.
were like, nah, we killing this motherfucker.
Yeah, like they killed
Right.
him that way just to get rid of a character.
He might have. He might
Right.
as well have been the black guy in a horror movie.
That's what they did.
What a butler.
That's what they
That's
did
what
to
they
him.
did.
That's
It's
what
like
they
Black
did.
Guy in a horror movie, though.
You ain't making. You're gonna die before the girl who lost her virginity in this
Right.
movie. That's
Yeah,
how
that's what
bad
they did.
horror
And
movies
it's
hate
like
you.
5 or
Right.
6 black mutants in the first place, and you had to kill off the one whose powers he can't die.
You gotta kill off the
Yeah.
one black guy with powers. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Bro, they did him so dirty.
Yeah,
in that
just
film.
open your mouth.
And that dude is a good actor, man. He was
Great
on,
actor,
he's been
bro.
in a ton of stuff. He was on a season
Yep.
of Justified with Timothy Olyphant, and
Yep.
man, he stole every
Yep.
scene he was in.
Yeah.
Dude is an amazing actor, and yeah, that just sucked.
That first class was a
they
mishmash,
did him the way they
bro.
did.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's like a double whammy when they do Dirty, a great character, but also played
Yeah.
by a great actor. It's
A
like
great
you made
actor.
so much money off that guy's ability.
First
Yep.
trash.
Yep.
that's why. But you know
First
what?
track.
That's why I think Kevin Feige is Kevin Feige, because he's taking time with an IP that he wants to see. Because the thing is, the X-Men is his pride and joy as well. So he wants it done right, and that's
And
why I
And he
think
wants,
that.
and he wants fan service. So
He
I'm
reads
good
the
with that.
books.
He reads the
Yeah,
book.
does.
Not
Right.
because he has to make the movies, but because
Right.
he wants to read the books.
Right.
Yeah, what we
Right.
gonna say, Vinny?
He's done so many of the famous characters and stories that he's in such a tough spot because he knows that people like us want to see Days of Future Past done right, but they already did it. So it's like, well, do you just do stories that aren't as popular just so that it's something new, or do you go back and fucking do those movies the way they should have been done in the first place? Like,
Right.
Phantom Saga is one of the biggest conundrums he has. It's the most famous X-Men story, and it's the one that
I don't think they're going to do it.
fucked up.
Yeah, they
I-
fucked that up.
It's the same reason why he skipped Peter's origin story the way it's been done before with Uncle Ben and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
think they do the Phoenix Saga. I don't think he wants to.
For us, because we all want to see it be.
I agree.
a
I
cosmic
agree.
force and like we
To have
like,
it done
stop
right,
making
though.
Yeah, stop making it just that Jean is like really pissed off. That's not what the fuck the Phoenix Force is.
Chrissy
But
Hamilton.
also lay the
said-
groundwork with the character for a while before you jump into the Phoenix Saga. Like
When he was
that's why I
dying-
don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, Chrissy Hamilton said when he was dying, he did say, "See you soon." Good point.
I'm like,
Good
what?
point. Darwin, he did say that. "See you
Yeah.
soon."
I'm like,
So and you never know. It could be an entry way to bring him back. We just never know. But again,
He blew
I mean,
up.
I don't. Yeah,
Well, but also they had
Blew
two
up.
more Fox movies after that. They had Days of Future Past and Armageddon, and it never.
Yeah.
He didn't come back, so he's
No.
I mean, he's
He's
not
dead.
You know. But here, so
they swept him off the floor.
I get a question for you guys related to, or wait, does she have a question? We can do that first, and then I want to ask you something.
nah. She just said, "I wish Black Widow had her own movies." Like, yeah.
Oh,
I agree with
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I agree
We
with
all
that.
were clamoring for it for years. It just it didn't happen until last
Yeah,
year.
it never happened. Yeah.
So my question to you guys is actually with another film that's coming out in this phase, Black Panther 2. Okay?
Yeah.
And everybody has been talking about and now
Yeah.
what I'm about to say I don't think is actually going to happen, but I kind of want it to, and I wonder what you guys would think. How a lot of people are saying they think it's going to be Shuri that takes over as Black Panther. Which character-wise, like, okay, but like, no offense, I haven't seen enough of that actress in a lead role to really know if she could handle
Thank
it,
you.
if she could carry the
Thank
weight.
you.
That's my
Thank
concern,
you.
not with the character.
My only
But
hope
here's
is
my-
that this movie takes place during the blip where Black Panther wouldn't be around in the first place to explain what was going on.
But Shuri was gone too. She got blipped out too.
She was there. She didn't disappear in the blip.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, they had her.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
had her
they
on the
had her on the
screen.
screen.
On the
that Banner
screen, she was
looking
gone
at,
too.
yeah.
Her, Nick Cage.
But here's my
Spider-Man,
question.
all of them was gone.
I
And
could've
so
sworn she was still
in
there.
here's my question. So what they're doing in the books right now, in the timeless one shot, they teased a number of potential things that could happen in the future when the whole time quake is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so among them, there's some really cool things. There's a Spider-Man, finding a new home, and he's in Hollywood, which I think is going to happen because I think it's going to be the Ben Reilly one when Peter kind of gets back to being healthy. There was, an icon dies or an icon falls or something, and it was Cap gut shot by Bucky, by Winter Soldier, right? One of them was a Black Panther, and it was a female Black Panther, and out of the back of the mask was long silver flowing hair. Now, My
What's that?
question is, do you think
Storm?
there is the possibility that the way they introduce one of those characters that we'll get as they expand the mutants and the X-Men is Aurora Monroe, and they
Storm.
rewrite her backstory as being Wakandan, and maybe she steps into the role of Black Panther as a precursor to when mutant powers start coming into play in the MCU. I know it's a long shot, but if you are going to do something without recasting the character of T'Challa,
they have to.
That is something that is faithful, because she was actually took over the mantle of Black Panther for a short time.
In the comics,
but
she did.
Yeah, but she was married to him as well.
Yeah. They were married. She was the queen of Wakanda.
I know it's pie in the sky, and they would definitely have to rewrite some things that would be different from what had actually happened in the books. But that's a character taking on the mantle of Black Panther that if they did it well, I'd be okay with.
I don't think Hollywood wants that.
It'd be so messy to get away from the Nubia stuff and what they already have set up in Fury. It'd be tough.
But they have rewritten the origins of characters and like their nationalities and things like that in the MCU in the past.
Sure they have.
Sokovia was not a thing, and that's Baron Zemo's, path.
Yeah, right?
I think with knowing, like I said, just behind everything that Kevin Feige has said thus far, I think that with the X-Men, and even with a character such as Storm, more so it's the importance of that character to have a level of importance, standing away from being associated with another identity or another character. I think he wants to focus now I'm not saying it's not a bad idea, because that would be dope, but
even if nothing happened to both men, I would have wanted them to wait for a Storm marriage too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I want, and I think the primary focus is going to be on her standing alone, as not alone, but just as Storm, because there's so much the right version of Storm. Because there's so much depth to the character, so much depth to her, not just royalty itself, but just her struggles as an orphan at one point. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to really be said about that. And I think that that's probably where they want to kind of lean. And this is why, again, when we get into these discussions about the X-Men and about the different the characters, the storylines and stuff like that, Kevin Feige, the thing is, it's like I would love to be a fly on the wall, but I would hate to see this man's mind, because I'm telling you, he's probably ripping things apart in his head, putting them back together, trying to basically figure out what the right story would be, how it would be accepted, how to basically bring it. And Bob Dylan, you bring up, and that's where I was going.
I was about to actually ask you about
Shadow King.
He's definitely doing
this.
That.
Would have to be this right here would be the best.
Shadow King would be boss.
Exactly, because he plays a very pivotal and key role in her life as a character. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think Kevin Feige has a task to basically put this shit together the right way, and it's not going to be just something just thrown in and shoehorned in. He's taking his time to do this shit.
Leo, what about Bob's previous comment, though?
What did he say?
He said, and I haven't seen it, he said that there was supposedly like a Screen Rant leak about M'Baku taking over as Black Panther.
I hope not.
No.
He's in charge of the Gorilla Tribe, man.
They have to realize that by the time,
I hope not.
Even if they do, I feel like Shuri might be like a buffer, because if it's everybody, it's like it's really raw with his death and everything. But I feel like after this film,
they have to recast him, man.
I feel like they're
not going for a little while.
If you are
they cannot kill him off, bro.
If you're a comic book fan, you want to see the legacy of that character go on. Like,
yes.
They're trying to balance the character legacy and the actor legacy.
In '79, would we have never gotten another Superman movie?
Thank you. My point. That's my point exactly, bro.
Look,
it's been 100 Batman. It's been like 100 freaking Superman.
And Batman never died.
And the first big
actors never died.
Character.
Bob Kane. Not Bob Kane. Adam West has been gone.
Not. I mean, they didn't die and then were recast because they died, though.
Hold on, Vinny.
I mean, I
what were you
understand
saying?
that.
Finish your thought real quick.
All right, I was like, we've like Jedi was saying, Batman. We've seen Superman now,
Yeah.
Joker. We've seen countless Spider-Man. All
Right.
these characters. If anything had happened to them, whether it be the movie bombed or the character died or anything
Right.
that happened to them, it was a no-brainer that the character would get another iteration in the future.
My point.
Even if, in the case of like a Joker, where the character just has to wait some time before they have someone come in, so that way it's not
Yes.
a blast. But the first major black superhero, the first black superhero
One and done.
is the biggest thing. It took over the world, made $2 billion, and when he dies, it's like, oh yeah, well, we can't do that character again. It's absolutely ridiculous and backhandedly racist, I think, to feel like, oh, we can't replace.
It's idiotic.
It's backhanded. It's like a backhanded compliment. It's like, no, we don't want that character to be as big as that was getting, because think about how many people were upset because Black Panther came out right before Infinity War, and Black Panther wasn't like the star of Infinity War. Everyone was like, when's Black Panther showing up? When's Black Panther?
Right.
He was stealing the show. I don't know if that's exactly what they expected would happen, but I think that they are looking at this as an opportunity to let the hype for Black Panther cool down.
And that's garbage, man.
I feel it's unacceptable.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think they want the hype for it to die down. I think they were ecstatic that Black Panther was as big as it was. I think right now they're trying to balance the legacy of the character and the legacy of the actor, the thing is, we say, they would have recast if something happened to Toby or if something happened to Michael Keaton or whoever, but the reality is,
but with
we don't know that for certain because it's never happened before. This is the first time that it's happened in this kind of
they weren't
Adam West is gone. Christopher Reeve is gone.
Universe. So you didn't have those problems. Like Joker dying.
But there would be tons of people that would be shitting on Feige and Disney and Marvel for just putting him aside and recasting just to make more money with the character.
The average
it's already a big movement about it right now about recasting. Big movement.
Average Joe who is just a Chadwick Boseman fan, or is it somebody who goes to all the movies who just like Black Panther because it's for culture, and they were absolutely counting on that as this to be, and what it was a big black blockbuster.
His own brother spoke out about it, bro.
Well, you have a lot of people.
His own brother.
This movie who brought in outside fans. That's what Boseman did.
I agree that he did, and I agree that movie did.
Let me finish. They are going to be upset that Boseman not being there is like, oh, well, then we don't want to see it then because Boseman was our guy. But if they recast him, then that backlash is only going to last until the moment they sit down in that seat for the new person.
The movie.
And trust Coogler to cast someone else who's going to have that presence, just like when we sat down in our theater and watched, like Joaquin Phoenix. It was like, man, Ledger wasn't able to do this, but like Joaquin is dope. Or when we watched, Tom, no one was sitting there saying, man, this ain't Andrew, fuck this. We weren't saying this ain't Toby, fuck this. Now, granted, they didn't die, and that's a very rare circumstance, but it is absolutely foolish to think that means now there should be no more black T'Challa.
But you know what?
That's crazy to me, bro.
But hear me out real quick on this one though, because this is where the problem lies. Though we're thinking of it as just the execs as being the ones to say, okay, no, we're not going to recast. But Ryan Coogler, and pretty much the entire cast stepped in, and where they were the ones that were also in agreement to saying like, no, he shouldn't be. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Stupid.
Like I'm like, why would you do that? But at the same time,
I don't know the man, but I gotta imagine that is the last person on the world who would say
he would not want to do that.
No, it could be him, but me.
I'm not saying I agree.
His own brother has said that he would have wanted him to be recasted. His brother spoke out about it.
I'm not saying I agree with the decision to not recast. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I don't think there is some want to tamp down the success of this movie because of how big the first movie. I don't see making any sense from a business perspective or otherwise. So I'm not saying I agree with the choice to not recast, but I don't think this is something on the part of Marvel, Kevin Feige, or Disney to say, well, that Black movie got too big, let's not let that happen again, because it made them $2 billion. Okay, and
it's a huge
green
mistake.
is the only color that they're going to care about right now. And if this movie can make them $2 billion, they're not going to nerf it so it only makes them like 750,000.
It's not going to make the money.
It's just not gonna.
It's an odd decision because they have to. I mean, I would assume that Shuri as Black Panther for the next 10 years isn't going to be bringing in $2 billion of film. In my opinion,
yeah.
But I don't think honestly, I don't think it's going to be Shuri at all. I don't think
it will be either. But here's the thing, guys. You got to remember, he died at what, like it was early 2020, right, or late 2020.
Now, for the record, I'm not saying for this movie. I get not doing it for this movie.
Okay, yeah, that's what because I was gonna say because to make this movie and recast T'Challa, they would have had to announce a replacement for him months after he died.
That they're done. I'm saying their statement that they plan not to recast him in the future. That is what I have baffling me.
A huge problem.
That could be a misdirect, though. They could very well still recast him.
Practically in production, so I get them not doing it for this movie. That is
Bruce Banner, exactly.
Those were different though. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying those were because of financial and working decisions based on the actors. It wasn't an actor death, and it wasn't a beloved actor who died. So I agree that recasting can happen, but that's like apples and oranges.
Comic book characters. That's what the thing is. They got to separate the comic book character from the actor.
But here's also here's the thing though. This is what I will say. We're having this discussion about recasting, whether they should have or whether they haven't. I think that the thing is, I don't want to set this up whereas we are actually stating that this particular film is doomed from the jump, because I don't think so. I think we have to wait, watch this film
over it, though, bro,
and see where it goes. It might be, but at the same time, and it could be. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to look at this film and set it up as being a complete failure. No. I want this thing. I really, 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 really want this thing to sit back. I want people to watch it, embellish it, and we just have to see. Because the thing is, don't count Ryan Coogler out as a writer, as someone who can.
He's there.
I can't support it.
Him being there, and I think that it's. I think, and the thing is, I'm rooting for the film to be good. I'm rooting for every aspect of this film.
And remember, I think we've got a Wakandan TV show coming too, so we're gonna see how it all develops.
Yeah.
I just to think to kill him off, to kill the character off is just whack to me, bro. Like they want to kill him off. Like I just whack.
But
to me,
Storm would be really cool as Black Panther.
She would be. I
understand the pitfalls of making that the case.
But
there are worse choices they could make. Than her. I just want. I mean, I think part of me is I want Storm done well, and I feel like Halle Berry was basically just eye candy as Storm. She never got a chance to sink her teeth into the role, and I love Halle Berry. But she didn't really have anything to do in those X-Men movies.
Every version.
No, their writing was terrible for that movie. That's why they downplayed Storm.
And I just want Storm is such a badass character.
Yeah, of course.
And I just want to see more of her. But I will tell you, like, I agree that I think like M'Baku becoming Black Panther, I think is problematic for a number of reasons. However, Winston Duke is a sleeper. He is an unbelievable goddamn actor, especially if you go back and you watch the later seasons of actually a J.J. Abrams produced show, Person of Interest. All right, he came in and knocked this fucking role that he did in the last couple seasons out of the park and blew me away. He subverts your expectations, and then what he does in that show with that character, you're like, where the fuck did this guy come from? He is an acting genius that I think should be way bigger in Hollywood than he is right now. And that's the only reason why I would not completely cringe at the idea of his character taking over, because I know how powerful an actor he is. I'm not saying it's the right move, But at least if they did it, it wouldn't be a shitty actor and a shitty move. It would be somebody who could at least maybe elevate it a little bit.
Whole different tribe. Like they just.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just no.
I mean, let's just make Angela Bassett the Black Panther.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Though. I like him as an actor, but just
Stella gets her groove back, and she's Black Panther, man.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to count this film out. I mean, the thing is, do I agree that I agree that they do not recast in this film? No, I definitely didn't agree with that because there's so much depth to the T'Challa character. But I want to wait.
It's a huge hole, bro.
I want them. The thing is, I just know how much of a huge weight it is for Ryan Coogler to write this film, especially after watching someone who he called his brother pass away. And on top of that, like just the sheer emotion of creating this particular film, which, they're talking about how they're going to, pay homage to him in a beautiful way. But, that's understandable. But the movie has to resonate to people who followed the first film.
Yep.
And the enjoyment that they had at watching that film and how it brought and united so many individuals, it has to resonate because that was a huge thing. It was a big thing.
I bet they wish they hadn't killed off Killmonger, though.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing. So I'm not going to say too much. Yeah, but
I don't even want that. That's another bad move.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm rooting for it.
Your lovely daughter has a comment here that we should just respond to. And she says, in my opinion, Rhodey was the most pointless character depicted on the Avengers team. He didn't get the meat, especially due to an actor the caliber of Don Cheadle. But watch Armor Wars. Okay,
Armor Wars is coming, baby.
Show
Armor Wars is coming. The TV show is coming
because that character is critical to Tony Stark and Iron Man's evolution. But he's also just an amazing charger in his own right in the books, and you will start to see that come through in Armor Wars. I promise you. You'll see it. You just gotta be patient.
And he's an inventor. He built some of the stuff for his War Machine armor. So I mean, he's not just a lame guy. He's got downplayed because of the movies, but
give it time, baby.
You'll see it now. You'll see it.
There were years that he was Iron Man in the comics.
For years. For years.
Demon in the Bottle. Going around that time as well.
Yep.
Ashley Chase with the $7.99 super chat. Send Black Panther off in a good way in a movie and always know that they are never really gone. We'll see. I mean, the thing is, it's like, look, if they can, you can't, it's just the T'Challa character. And I think, and this is what, Illuminar, you bring this up. Multiverse, you guys, T'Challa will be back. And that's what I believe. And I'm hoping that's something that will
happen. That's what Kevin Feige said he wasn't going to do.
I hope that happens, but bring him to the 616.
Yeah.
So he got to leave his
No, they actually said that the MCU is not 616. It's our main one, but they're saying it's not actually 616.
Right. MCU is not 616. 616 is a comics word. MCU is 199999.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's not.
MCU is not
how much is different from MCU than the comics? It's a different universe.
Yeah.
I missed that class altogether. Wow. I didn't know. I thought we were 616, but they were 616.
No.
So even 616 is always the comic books. Always the comics.
Okay.
616 is always
even though bring him back. Bring T'Challa back. You cannot huge piece of the Avengers.
Whatever universe multiverse they have to pull from.
Right.
That one can lose their.
Well, I agree on that front, but like Kevin Feige did say that they weren't using the multiverse to just recast T'Challa. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know if he meant forever or just for this movie.
But what else would he say though?
If he hides something, he's good as hell.
That's a tricky slope, though. It's one thing to misdirect when you're doing like trailers and fun stuff and like that, but to misdirect when you're referencing an actor who just passed, then that could be looked at as, well, you were just lying, so you didn't give away your secrets. But was that really? So I know what you're saying. I'm just saying it could be a tricky, it could be a slippery slope, and none of us know how it's gonna play out.
But it's like. Who didn't love Chadwick Boseman, bro? Everybody did. I did. I loved him as an actor. I loved all his freaking movies. Loved his movies.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, man.
Oh my God,
watch it, man.
Class, man.
His last role.
Boy, that boy shot.
It will floor you.
Yeah, fantastic, dude. But it's like
I'm so selfish because I really wish that he told Feige and worked out what to do. You know,
right?
It feels so
Right.
unbelievable
I
to
agree.
me that no one working with him, even Kugler, knew it all. Like people on the
Nobody
internet,
but his family, his
No,
his like
but I
his
mean,
That
like,
immediate
boy
family.
powered through that whole time. He was sick the
it's
whole
just
time, bro.
I feel like Disney is like this big brother conglomerate. Like there's no way that they didn't know in my head. I mean, I'm sure that they didn't, but it just feels like you would have thought like at some point they would have just hypothetically had a conversation with any of the major
Yeah.
Iron Man, Captain America. I feel like everyone who is on that level of importance in the MCU has had a conversation of the future of where we're going and what they would want to have done. You mean to tell me like Robert Downey Jr. never had a conversation of what he wanted to be recast with Feige over the years? I'm sure he had to have.
Right.
So why wouldn't Boseman have had that?
He was so but he was so young, and look at man, he had no quit in him. I don't think he thought he was gonna lose. I don't think he thought he was gonna lose to
Probably
cancer,
not.
dude.
Yeah.
And I thought
He fought through
I
it,
think
man.
he thought he was just gonna. I mean, you couldn't tell. Like there were some movies where people criticized, oh man, he looks really skinny and stuff. But it was people were like, oh, it's for the role. It's not like because when he needed to be
He
Black
didn't
Panther,
start to get small
he was
until what?
jacked.
21
When he
Bridges. 21
Yeah,
Bridges.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
when it started to get
so-
small.
So it was it was nobody really knew. I mean, the other thing too is you imagine how much it would have cost to insure him on set, right? Because you have to insure the actors on set for accidents, like for stunts and everything. He wouldn't have been able to like even go anywhere near a stunt being performed on any of those sets if he had disclosed his illness.
Damn.
Right, because
Yeah.
they would like it would have been millions and millions and millions of dollars to insure him medically while on those sets. So I guarantee you, like because they would have had to do that if they known. I guarantee you that they didn't know anything, and it sucks, but
Yeah.
that was a choice that he made with his life, and
Definitely a tough situation, man.
yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, there's no right answer. We just have to wait and see how it plays out, and then we can play Monday morning quarterback once we know how it's played out. But like, we all kind of talk around it in this, and we all have our own opinions. Honestly, I still don't know what the right move is to make, and I'm glad I'm not the one making the decision because
I feel like,
nobody's going to be perfectly happy with it. It's just
I completely get the sentiment, but I don't think that.
And it's on the group.
I don't think whatever backlash that they're afraid of
Yeah.
will last as long as they are worried about. I feel like people will.
The movie is good.
They'll get over it. They'll understand
Right.
that it's not
Very quickly.
It's not a disrespect to Chadwick to have Black Panther. Maybe
It's a
the next
separation
movie-
from the character to the actor. It's a separation.
Yeah.
They showed
That's why
they're
I
mature
think-
enough to be. Look, they separated the character from the actor. I
think
understand
this movie and the Wakandan series. It's going to be like one long saga for like and how they kind of deal with with his passing and what they do moving forward. I think the interconnectivity between the movie and the Wakandan series is going to be a lot more layered than
Here's
some
what
others
I
because
hope.
they're going to
I
have
hope
to.
that if they do recast him, that it is a surprise and they do not tell us.
Boom.
Because
That's not going to happen.
no. But listen to how smart it would be if they do. If
Oh,
they
I agree.
come out with like an article or they just have a press conference and say that shit, then that actor is going to have to deal with that hell before he even gets a chance. But if they have it as a reveal in one of the films or the shows or something like that, then it rips the Band-Aid off. So I hope that
I agree, but in this day and age, they announce every actor playing every role way in advance. I mean, think about what was the last one that was a surprise.
This would be a hell of a way to make an exception.
I agree, but what was the last actor that was a surprise?
What they got now? They say
I feel like it was Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man.
Yeah, but from Multiverse of Madness, they
Well,
already
I
cast
mean,
Reed Richards.
I was-
They didn't say who
I
the
was-
actor is.
I was
So-
surprised as hell. Because they never announced, that we were going to see, what is it, Styles as
There you go.
in the Eternals.
Oh, at the end of the Eternals, yeah.
So that was never announced. I never heard an
yeah,
announcement on that, and
Styles
they
Eternals.
snuck
Yeah.
that in like real
Yeah.
quick. So again,
That
There
character's
are-
not
there
on
are-
the same level as notoriety and stuff for the general public, though.
Well, I mean, you
But
said
Star Fox is
Hey,
big though.
you know,
I was
No,
shocked
he
to see
is,
him
but he's
at
not
the
like
end.
a Cap or an Iron Man or a
Yeah,
Hulk.
but still,
Like,
Yeah,
it's
but still
them
big
demonstrating.
little brother. Like
It's
Nobody
still
thought that was
demonstrating
gonna
the simple fact that they can actually do this without communicating
saying
to
nothing.
us.
So
Without
I
saying
agree.
shit. You know
I
what
would
mean?
love it
So-
if they do.
I would love that.
I feel
I'll be
like they won't,
satisfied. I'll go
but
see
I
it.
agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Them on all these fillers, Riri Williams and all these other fillers for the movie. I don't know, man. I don't know. And Neymar might be. It's just
yeah,
okay. That's all good, but you need Black Panther. Like
yep.
I'm sorry.
Chrissy Hamilton,
Too many
I don't
fillers
know,
without the
but
main
it's not out of the
character
realm of possibility. It's something that can happen. So listen, we are getting that 2-hour
I
mark.
just
We're
hope
kind of
not.
winding it down real quick. So yeah, I'm going to actually close this out. There's going to be a continued discussion. Definitely, we got more to talk
Yeah,
about.
we got to come back on this.
You know, when it comes to this,
DC can
but
wait.
yeah, you know, we're going to wind it down. But it's been a great discussion. I mean, especially like you know how look, Black Panther, we all wanted to win. So I think basically we just have to wait. I mean, as much as we feel about this character being recast, hopefully it will. We don't know. They're saying it won't, but I just want to see the film. If it's written well, if you do something great in it, if you introduce a character that can hold a candle, even if somebody's going to put on a suit. That's what I want you to do. Put that suit on, represent the character the right way, pay homage. And if they decide to basically recast the actual character, which they could possibly do down the line, we never know. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know Ryan Coogler, once they see this, and I know they pretty much know the backlash. They know that people are talking. They see this shit. You know what I mean? But
They watch
at
the
the same
stream.
time,
It's a big time thing about
it's
the
it's a
recasting
backlash
thing,
by
bro.
not
It's
recasting.
all over now, bro.
It's
Yeah.
a
Big
backlash
time.
by not recasting them as well.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, thanks everybody for basically being a part of the show tonight. Tune in next week. We'll have an all-out. I know Jedi Kid can't wait because we're going to be talking about DC, their properties, where they're going with the films. And there was a lot that was actually mentioned today. Also, one of the biggest things. Now, Jedi Kid, we're not going to talk about it today. Just hold the discussion until next week because I already know what you're upset about. But we'll talk about that next week because some news came out today that we heard. So hold that, write everything down, and we'll talk about it next week, next
He's
Monday.
busting at the seams right
Exactly.
now.
Vinny,
I'll
what you
wait.
got?
I'll wait
Vinny,
on
what
it.
you got? What you got coming up, bro?
Oh man, I'm catching up on reading. I've been reading my ass off. Just
Hell
going
yeah!
through organizing.
Hell yeah!
I'm usually so busy during the summer that I usually just kind of like get my pulls and then end of the year go through like Netflix and just binge.
Yeah.
So I'm catching up on reading now. I'm reading some older stuff too and mixed in with some newer stuff and working on just taking it easy, drawing, relaxing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to catch up to speed on a lot of different titles. So I'm excited for that for sure. And I'm excited of like Mando in full swing, so I'm excited, continue with what's going on with that. And otherwise, it's like kind of a break from the main comic book films and shows for a minute. Like it's going to be a second till we get some of those back in the swing. So I'm going to fill that time with reading, which is what I hope everybody else does, man. If you like all these TV shows and these movies, go visit your local comic book shop. If you have a brick and mortar, visit them, and if they don't have it, then go to Amazon.
Exactly. Definitely. But naked. What you got coming up? Besides the simple fact that we got to figure out the day that we're going to have a discussion about No Way Home in depth. And, with Spider-Man, especially with the Spider-Man universe. And, we got to figure out when we're going to actually do that. Because I want to really, really dive in to that film and what it meant, the implications, certain hidden Easter eggs, and what it can mean in the Spider-Man universe going forward. But anyway, regardless, beyond that,
we'll figure out a time when we're gonna
we gotta do that.
We're gonna go SpongeBob Square balls deep.
Into
Spidey there.
We gotta do that, bro.
So we got that. So that'll be fun. Lael and I, when we do that, there's we got next weekend or this coming weekend, Sunday. Do the which figure did you guys decide? Are you gonna do Spidey? We're gonna do Spider-Verse.
Y'all
right?
already decided that.
That's right.
You already talked about that.
Gonna do the Spider-Verse. So
hell yeah, we're gonna do Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I'm like slowly reworking some of the Spidey.
You're doing the
stuff
pose
going
offs,
here.
the poses down there.
Take your position live with
Take Your
Iron
Position
Logan.
Live,
So
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
provide the commentary for that.
I'm gonna have to jump on there or something.
Yeah, definitely.
So got that coming. And then otherwise this week, man,
Chilling.
it's just comic books. I'm gonna catch up on the second season of The Witcher because I'm up on Cobra Kai now, so I'm all set on that.
I'm about to go watch that shit right now because I
yeah,
didn't finish
dude.
Cobra Kai. I finished
Dude, you gotta
like
crush it, man. You'll
I
just
got like
tear
2
through
more
it.
episodes of Cobra Kai I'll be done.
It's so good. So yeah, I'm gonna be so I'm gonna hit up some Witcher, read a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Some good books coming out this week alone. We've got some Spidey, got some Avengers, got some Iron Man and Cap team up books coming. Another Thor. And I still have to read from last week. We have like Moon Knight and a couple others. So I'm gonna dive into those. And otherwise, I'm just gonna chill for this week. So you won't see my ugly mug until next weekend for the pose off. Oh, and then and Lael, don't text me about Book of Boba on Wednesday morning because I actually have a client shoot at 8:30 on Wednesday morning. So I'm
I'm off Wednesday. I'm off Wednesday, so I'm watching that.
Think about it. I will mute you. I am.
Yo, you got to text me Wednesday morning. Darth Vader, holy shit!
I swear I'll rip your sack off like a paper towel. Man,
That's hilarious.
I got
This is gonna be fucking funny.
So I got a client shoot at 8:30. I'll go probably like 3 hours or so. I'm gonna come home and then I'm gonna watch episode 2 while I eat lunch.
Right.
Nobody talk to me or message me or anything.
You know now you inviting motherfuckers to do that shit.
all
They
he
gonna
did.
call you. They
No,
gonna call you.
no. I swear,
Your
if I
phone
have to,
gonna ring off the hook.
I'll delete Facebook and Instagram from my phone for the day, and I will block your ass on my
Your
phone
stuff gonna
so
ring
that
off the
nobody
hook,
can
boy.
do it until I come home Wednesday and I watch because I can't. No. If anybody messes with, and I know people had varying opinions on the first episode. I loved it. I thought it did exactly what it needed to, which was basically fill in the stuff that we knew
I love
happened
Boba
in
Fett,
the past,
bro. I don't
but
care
we
what
hadn't
nobody
actually
says.
seen it develop yet. Now we're gonna move into the meat and the ramifications of the rest of the the crime lords and stuff on Tatooine, smelling blood in the water after they see him exposed and see him attacked and show some weakness. So there's gonna be some stuff developing. I'm super psyched about that. So that's
You think we get a Han Solo cameo?
No, I don't think. So.
No, but
At all?
it's funny that you say Solo. My prediction, I think we're gonna see Kira.
I think so too.
Kira
Because I heard
and
the little
Crimson
music at the
Dawn.
end.
Yeah,
The Crimson Dawn music is in there.
Kira and the Crimson Dawn. I love me some Kira.
You ain't the only one.
But
I think she's a great actress.
they're gonna have to
Emilia
age
Clarke.
that character though. Definitely.
Yeah, she'll
gonna
be
have to
older.
age that
She'll be
character.
older. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll be older.
Yeah, they will. But they.
Han was middle aged by
they
then,
could do
right?
it. They could do it.
They could probably.
Think about it. This is 5. So
Before.
Mando season 1 was 5
5 years
years after Jedi.
After Jedi.
So this
she's,
is like
she's
another
not,
1-2 years
So like 7
after
years
the first
after.
season.
So he's not
right?
that
This
old.
is after season 2. So if Han, you figure, how old is Harrison Ford? I mean, he was in his probably like mid-30s with
So he's
Jedi.
probably about 37.
So she's got to play somebody mid to late 30s.
37,
They can push.
38.
I think they could. I think that's doable. But yes, I do
They
think
could probably
we're going to
pull it off.
see Emilia Clarke as Kira.
Quick.
Yeah,
We're gonna
heading
get
to
some Han
Crimson
Solo
Dawn.
somewhere. I bet you.
Oh,
At some point.
shit.
I don't know about Han, but we are gonna. I mean, maybe they just do kind of like you see like a silhouette.
I
or
think
something,
Kira tomorrow.
the swagger or something like that. But I do think that we're seeing Kira and the Crimson Dawn. I think they are major players, if not the kind of main.
They had the
antagonist
music
for
playing,
Boba.
bro. That's definitely
Yeah.
going to be there.
So,
We'll see
but again,
something.
I'm muting all you motherfuckers until after lunchtime on Wednesday.
All right.
Just so
Jedi Kid, what you got coming up, bro?
Just doing the same thing. Because I'm a lot of reading, man. For you DC fans, this thing right here, Anatomy of the Metahuman, is awesome.
have you got-
yes.
This is
Have
all
you guys
Batman's
got any-
notes. This is
Have you
all
got any of
Batman's
the
notes.
Milestone line?
Huh?
Have you got any of the Milestone reboot?
Nah,
got
not
Arbor,
yet.
I missed Icon, but yeah,
What?
I'm hyped to read that too. They
Bro,
rebooted the
this
Milestone
is
line.
dope.
Milestone
This-
is back too.
Dude, it's all Batman's notes. Like all his contingency plans on how to deal with metahumans. The anatomy breakdowns, and this is a good one, bro.
I'll check
So
that out too.
I've been reading this. I just started reading this. I got to finish up Death of Doctor Strange. I got the last 2 issues. No, I got the first 4. I read the first 2 books. I got 2 more books to read from that, and I'm reading what is it? Amazing Spider-Man, and I just got Superman in yesterday.
Okay.
So just doing a lot of reading. Catch up on some reading with the books. I was out the loop for a little bit.
No doubt. Anyway, follow all these guys if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram for all the latest information. Again, there's a lot of stuff up and coming. We will basically have a couple of decent streams. We're going to schedule a couple of decent things coming up, so just stay tuned. As always. And let me actually go ahead really quick. Let's get on my nerves.
Tom.
Let me go ahead really quick, and we're going to go ahead and address the chat real quick.
There you go.
Oh hell no!
I had to get him, did I, kid?
We're going to address the chat real quick. So what we got here?
No, we got like a straight killer, bro.
We got Tobar in the building.
Like
we got
killer.
Ashley Chase in the building. Thank you for coming through. Single songwriter Max Geekdom Tobar. We got Ashley Chase, Ben Thomas. Chrissy Hamilton, thank you for coming through. We have Bonnie Bork. I think that was like, I don't know what that is. M. Dyson, my baby Latoya T, Tobar, Luminara, Linda. We have Break in the building. Thank you for coming through. Let's see here. We have OC. We have Rodney in the building. Thank you for coming through, man.
Seriously, it's like you're staring at me with that fucking picture.
Right at like, okay, I
unsettling.
don't have my wallet.
I'm like
on,
moving and your eyes are following. It's freaking me the fuck
like
out.
a straight killer, boy.
Bob Dylan in the building. Thank you for coming through. Mike 44, Mark 44 Prime. Thank you for coming through. Malachi McBain. What'd you say? It's the romper room. Yeah, Rodney.
It's Rockwell room now.
Rockwell room. My baby. Scholar Leo Moore, thank you for coming through. Thank you for being here. Again, Max Geekdom, everybody who actually came through, man. If I haven't already shouted you out. Bing Cave, thank you for basically being here, man. Let's see who else we got. Oh man,
why am I hearing Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror right now?
What?
Yo. Anyway.
Yo.
Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for basically being here, coming through. It has been a blast. Again, remember, stay tuned for next week when we will actually have a complete breakdown of the future of the DCEU. So definitely stay tuned for that. For everybody actually being here, we love y'all. Peace and love. As always, stay classy, stay nerdy. Look, this is where you want to be at. Comic book discussions all day, every day on behalf of everybody in this crew. We love y'all. Peace and love. We are out.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Out.
Peace.